Hey, we are back. What is up, everybody? It is Thursday night. Time for another Toss One Back Thursday. Happy Thursday to y'all. Hopefully, you guys are about ready for the weekend, as I know I am. Kind of worn down through this week, and this is a long one. This is a long one for your boy. So, I don't know your week, Todd, but my week is just like, let's get through it. Let's one more day.
Yes. And I was supposed to be off on Monday because, bank holiday, but we're not really considered the bank. So my division had to work. Well, it was not mandatory, but it kind of was like wanted you to work. So I actually worked, but we got off a little bit early on Monday. So it was a full day. But in saying that, we've been so busy, it's felt like 2 weeks crammed into one.
Yeah.
So yes, I am ready for the weekend. Long story short.
Is Monday still a holiday? I guess some things Monday's still a holiday for. I don't know. I mean, the post office was closed and the banks were closed, but
right.
Yeah. So
I think that's about it for the most part.
I think schools were open. I'm
yeah.
Yeah. But we were kids, school would be closed for it. But yeah, it's kind of like, are we still celebrating this guy, or how are we doing that now?
So everybody in so everybody else in the office was off, but our division in our office had to work. So
yeah. Well, if the markets are open and we work, we don't get off unless the markets are shut down.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
But
that's kind of the way our division works too, really, because they do a lot of we do a lot of wire transfers and stuff like that. So if it's closed, that division would be closed. Of course, that division wasn't there, so they may have been shut down too because the banks were closed.
Yeah.
But all the finance companies and stuff that we deal with, they were open, so we were still getting shit coming in.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that we dealt with work in the bank, so a lot of them were out, which is great. So you weren't getting as many calls in, but there was still stuff to do. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
No shortage of that. But this is going to be an interesting. This is going to be like a Big Daddy Mojo shout out show. So Big Daddy Mojo sent us some beers, and if you guys saw the unboxing, and we're going to review a couple of those beers here tonight. We're going to review one of his favorites, I know, because he has the avatar for it, the Pseudo Saison. And representing Chi-Town, the Fat Bear from Hot Butcher, which I have not had that one, so that'll be a cool one. You said you've had it before, so do you remember it from when you had it, kind of, or is it
a little, but not a whole lot? So I'm actually glad to get it again because I'm kind of curious to see,
yeah,
if it's changed any or I have a different opinion on it. I think I gave it a decent score the first time around, though.
Well, I'm interested to see because I know you're feeling towards some of the peanut butter beers, and this would be a nice peanut butter stout.
And that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, when I give it the first time. Oh, okay. So I dug it the first time. Then I gave it about a 4.5 on the first time I had it.
So we'll see if it changed for Todd in his regard of it there.
And that was back in November, late November. So not quite a year, but
almost a year.
Yeah.
Metalhead's in the house. Shout out to Metalhead. What is going on, my friend?
What's up, Metalhead?
Check him out as well. He does some beers and stuff on his channel. About to get a couple tall boys tonight. That's what you're talking about. That's a Thursday night.
There you go.
A couple tall boys. And I just posted the one video up. I did, thanks to Bart Robinson. He wanted me to check it out. I did the Pabst Blue Ribbon Extra. So actually not a bad one. I mean, in the way of macros, PBR is actually one of the ones I would prefer. Like, I'll take a PBR over a Bud, over a Coors usually.
I agree.
I like the PBR as far as a nice, easy drinking lager. And ice cold, it went down very smooth, and it was the extra, so that was 6.5% ABV for that one.
I haven't had that one. I don't think I've had the extra.
Yeah, that was a little harder to find, it seems. He was able to get it where he's at in New Jersey. He provided it when I was up there last month. I think I might have a store here that may have it. I don't even know if Jungle Jim's actually carries it. But I think our Party Town store does. So
was that the video that you just did day or two ago on it or something?
Yeah, and I just uploaded
Okay.
the last video there. Yeah.
I saw it, but I haven't actually had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah. You know, I drink outside of craft as well. You know, it is a beer channel, not just a craft beer channel. So occasionally I'll pop the macros in and stuff like that. Who knows? Someday I may slip up again and have a malt liquor on here. We don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. See what happens. And unlike the malt liquor crew, I don't have to wear a ski mask to do it. I'll drink a malt liquor. I don't care who sees me drink a malt liquor. I don't get the whole ski mask thing that they have going on with their, they don't want people to see them drinking a malt liquor. I don't know. I don't get the whole facade of it,
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
either. No tapping on the glass.
Yeah, tapping on the glass. Yeah.
Not really sure what's behind all that, but whatever. Each his own.
Yeah, these are on the whole MDC type thing, whatever. Yeah, so, but it's just funny. Yeah, you see a tap on it, and even they got to get the glass one. I think they tap the glass to show it's not a plastic bottle because some of the 40s come in plastic. That's what I think may be the case. I don't know. If we've got any malt liquor aficionados watching, let us know. What is the reason for the tapping on the?
That would make sense. That would be the only thing I could think of.
But I don't really know. Ting, but I don't know what the ting, ting, ting's supposed to do. I mean,
or is that a don't rush me because I can break shit and then stab you with it? I don't really know what that's about.
So
ting, ting, don't come at me because I can make this a weapon. Because plastic would be like, okay, here's my money.
Some of the 40-ounce drinkers, I can see them in a bar fight, so that might be a part of it too. Just in case.
But I'd like to know. Yeah, I'd like to know what the real story is behind that.
Not just for holding my malt liquor, self-defense as well. So. Don't come at me, son.
Doubles as a weapon.
What's up, Vanessa? Cheers to you. Happy Thursday as well. BC in the house. What's going on, BC? Cheers, homie.
What's up, BC?
Holding it down in Michigan. Got Gilbert in the house. Cheers, fools and trolls. Yeah, keep out the troll alert tonight, Gilbert. Gilbert's ready for the trolls.
That's right.
He's whack-a-mole with them last week. He was knocking them right out.
And you get some money out of it too.
One of them tipped me like I'm going to read the comment. Like I'm not reading your comment, but thanks for the tip.
Yeah. But I gave you money. Yeah,
he's like,
I appreciate that. Did. You're out.
Fool and their money are easily separated. Yeah, no, you heard that before, right? Yeah. So thanks for the $5. What's up, Shane? Shane in the house. Cheers, homie. Y'all know Shane. Check Shane out doing the craft beer reviews as well. JV in the house. Cheers, JV.
Wow, it's going to be followed by a comment. I can see it coming already.
I don't see it out there.
No,
not yet. Not yet. He's trying to be a good guy, I guess. But, yeah, JV said he was trying to find a Pabst Extra and hadn't been able to find it either. So, we got Vanessa there again. And Big Daddy in the house. There's the man of the hour. What is going on, homie? Sipping Son of Juice. I just said,
what's up, Big Daddy?
Big Daddy Mojo shout-out show. So, yeah, we're going to actually do a couple of the beer for reviews here that you sent. So, that should be fun to enjoy. Gilbert drinking on some Negro Modelo. Very nice. I don't usually drink it that much. You know what I usually drink Negro Modelo at is Chipotle. If I dine in Chipotle, I'll get that there because they have bottles, at least where we're at, where you can get that there in Chipotle. That's usually the only place I really end up getting it at. Even at a Mexican restaurant, I don't see it as much, but
no.
Chipotle, they are distributed with them, so I usually check them out.
Usually see Dos Equis most of the time or Coronas or something.
Yeah. Speaking of fast food places where you can get beer, did you guys ever get a Taco Bell cantina down there in Louisville or anything like that? Do you have one down there yet?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, because
we don't even have a Chipotle around here.
Oh, really? Not even on the Louisville side?
Well, there probably is one over there, but
yeah,
I haven't seek or sought after it. So
yeah, I don't even really go to Chipotle that much anymore. But I just remember the last time I had one, and usually when I do have one, it's like usually right there. Chipotle used to have some of the better margaritas you can find. Back like
I've heard that
5-6 years ago, when it was basically ran like pretty much as a Mexican ran establishment before the Americans really started getting more of the jobs in there. I think they were making theirs a little bit more saucier. So we would go there after golf and we'd get a couple of those. And we'd be feeling real nice. Then the Americans came in and it's like, are y'all watering down the drinks? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, They need to fire y'all. Y'all messing everything up.
Right? Yeah, they're trying to save money. They give me way too much to kill.
Yeah, corporate came and started cutting costs and stuff. So
yeah, they're like, okay, you're out.
I don't know if you know that, but Chipotle used to be owned by McDonald's before McDonald's sold them off.
Really?
So
I did not know that.
Yeah. James in the house. Hey, sports, what's going on, James?
What's up,
Good to
James?
see you, my friend. Drinking Hoof-Hearted Key Bump Triple IPA. Yeah, PBR is better. Yeah, I'm right there. Yeah, PBR's got a nice little feel to it. Hoof-Hearted, just north of me here, up in Ohio. Actually, may find more of their beers next weekend. Going to be doing a little bit of travel. I'm going to probably get out to Yellow Springs Brewery, and if I get out there, I might shoot a video as well. I know the owner out there, so I'm going to try to get in touch with him, maybe get a tour or something like that. Hey, and if I run into Dave Chappelle, I'm gonna have to try to get a shot with Dave Chappelle, because Dave Chappelle lives in Yellow Springs. That'd be some crazy shit. I probably wouldn't even know what to say if I saw Dave Chappelle there. I'd be like,
yeah,
funny guy.
You're funny. Yeah, you're so funny.
It's like when we were here, we had Ralphie May. I saw Ralphie May one time, and it was like I wouldn't even know what to say, but it was like I wanted to say something. Now I wish I would have said something, because he's dead now, but
right,
super comedian back in the day.
It's weird. Speaking of the Hoof-Hearted, we get them every once in a while, but it's not like a big select. It's just like maybe one beer, sometimes two beers, and then they go away, and then you get them again. It's not like a full distribution or something. It's kind of weird. I don't really know why it's done that way, but I try to pick them up whenever I see them, because everything I've had from them has always been pretty good.
Yeah, their distribution doesn't go really as far. So I don't know if Raining, if you have someone sent to you, or if you're actually getting them in a store there. But like in Kentucky, I don't really see them, but they go right down to Cincinnati. So I go to Ohio, Jungle Gyms, or some of the stores there. I'll get some Hoof-Hearted a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, and I always pick them up in Indiana, so I don't know. I've never seen them in Kentucky either. But.
Yeah, but Rain is up in New York, so I don't know if they might be, Rheingeist is in Massachusetts, but it skips other states, so it's like wherever the distribution goes. Tapping the malt liquor bottles like Puff tapping milk bottles. Bad boy. So you're saying all these malt liquor guys want to be in a Puff Daddy video. Take that. Twin Peaks custom brews that are good. Nice. And I'm drinking heavy duty Baltic porter by Maplewood called Blended Sea. Oh, I do like a nice Baltic porter, which for those of you that do not know, a Baltic porter is actually a lager. Most people see porter and think it's an ale, but Baltic porter is that kind of exception to the rule when you hear porter. It's a lager. Yeah. But so speaking of Big Daddy in the house, I'm going to go ahead and crack open this first beer here in honor of the man, the myth, the legend himself. It's going to be a look at the toppling Goliath. Pseudo Saison. I feel like that should be a song or something. Pseudo. I'm thinking of that old Phil Collins Pseudo. Yeah. So this one here, Pale Ale, and out of Iowa, brewed in beautiful Iowa, as it says. Nice size pint can here. And I didn't notice on the can the ABV. Do you notice on your can?
I thought I saw it. Oh, it might have been on the other one.
As I look it over,
I do not see it either.
That's a no. You should always have the ABV on your stuff, if not the date, which it does have the date on here. So this was 8/11/21, Best Buy 12/9/21. So
I think now that I think about it, because most of theirs you buy in like the box, the 4-pack box. You know how they kind of box them in now on some of them. And I think they may put it on the box, but not the cans, which is always thought was kind of bizarre.
Kind of a cost-cutting thing, man.
And I could be wrong on that, but I don't remember seeing, because we get all the toppling Goliath here too, and it's I don't ever remember seeing the ABV on any of the cans now that I think about it. But I feel like I know they put the stamp on like the date on the box, but I'm not 100% sure about the ABV either. But Big Daddy might be able to tell us. He might know.
Yeah, so I went to Untapped here, which Untapped may or may not be correct, but it says 5.8% and 45 IBU. And I thought I had this one, but actually I have had this one before. So this would
Ever
be a
have
nice
not.
little revisit. You have not had this one. And then we do the Fat Bear. I haven't had that one, but you have had it before.
Oh, I've had the Pseudo Saison. Have I not checked it
Oh,
in?
okay. I thought you said you didn't have it. Okay.
Oh no, I have. No, yeah,
Okay.
I've had that one several times. Yeah, I like King Sue, Pseudo Sue.
Now, I will say,
Like all the Sues.
when I had this one, I didn't have it in the can. I actually had it on draft, and it was actually when I was in Chicago. It might have been when I was here with JT at the time I was up there. We were at Miller's Pub, is where I've actually had this one before. So I don't know. I don't know if that, because I know we went to Exchequer, but Miller's Pub, I had it when I was in Chicago, whenever 1 or 2 times when I was back. So this will be it'll be a little bit different coming from the can rather than from the draft, of course. So
Right.
crack this baby open. Let's see here. I'll just use this glass. I think what glass I got for this one. The line between a pale ale and an India pale ale is getting so much more closer nowadays. Because you're really just talking more about ABV. Because your IPAs are usually a little bit higher in ABV and a little bit more on the bitterness scale. But like people confuse Zombie Dust as an IPA and Zombie Dust as a pale ale. It is not an IPA.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, most people don't know that actually.
Yeah.
And Big Daddy, if you're still watching, our liquor store just got a Toppling Goliath that just come out, or we just got yesterday or something. I know it's kind of going off topic real fast, but it's their fresh batch series. It's a s'mores pastry stout. So I was wondering if Big Daddy ever had that before, because I'm definitely going to pick that one up.
That definitely sounds pretty good.
It gets pretty good ratings on Untappd, so there have been a lot of check-ins on it. But anyway.
Yeah, good notes on the nose from this one here. Tropical citrus. Get orange, get mango, get pineapple. A little bit of grapefruit. A little bit of a underneath resiny quality. A little bit of a tangerine. It's a nice bouquet on the nose.
I was going to say definitely a sweetness coming out of it too on the nose for sure. I'm picking up a lot of those same things you're getting too as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like almost looks like an orange juice in the glass. You get a nice murkiness to it.
It's got a little bit of a juiciness in there when you get the taste going. So it's not as drying up front like some of the other ones are.
No, not at all. I think it's got a big juice up front to it.
Leaves a nice duration of the flavor on the background as well. Nice little tongue prickling from the carbonation, not overly carbonated. Nice popping in the cheeks. This is just a tasting. I can see why people love this beer to really enjoy as far as a pale ale. Definitely an easy one. You can sit back, relax, kick back with it.
I don't know about you, but would you say it was 5 point what?
For the ABV?
Yeah.
Pull it back up here. 5.8. 5.8.
Okay. And this might sound weird, but I feel like it doesn't taste or feel like it's more alcohol. Like you don't get the burn or whatever in it, but it feels like it would be more alcohol if it makes sense. Just by the flavor and the body of it, just seems like it would be higher ABV than what it is. And I kind of like that. It's kind of nice because you're not going to get roasted off of a handful of them, you know.
Well, you're getting more of a body feel out of it than you're thinking of it at that level, probably.
Right,
so, you're getting more of that. It's definitely nice, well-bodied beer. That definitely plays bigger than it actually is. But I could drink this sitting out on a nice day, you know, whether it's warm or whether it's cooler in fall. It's got good versatility to it.
And what, let's see. So mine, this is packaged on 8/11, and it says Best Buy 12 and 9. So
yeah, mine is the same.
And that's the thing. That's the great thing with them too is when it hits your store, or at least
Mhm.
here when it hits our stores, it hits our shelves. It's maybe a week old, 2 weeks at the most. It's usually like pretty damn fresh off the line. It's
Yeah.
kind of really mind blowing how they get it out to places so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, this one here, for instance, is only not even 2 months old. So 8-11, yeah, today
Yeah, that was
just over two
just
months
over
old,
just over 2 months now.
and still well within range because they're giving you basically 4 months to drink it. So, or Best Buy.
I feel like it's one you can easily, for people that like to chug beers, you can chug it rather easily too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess you could. I was gonna say it's kind of heavier on the body. I don't know if that would slow anybody down or not, but ABV wise, you definitely could.
Yeah. And now, like halfway through the glass, halfway through the can too, because the can is now empty. The flavor is really nicely sopped into kind of like the cheek area where that flavor is really dug in. And as I talk, the tones just keep coming out, which is nice. Which those are the kind of beers you like, because you can just sit them down and enjoy it, have a conversation, and you're still getting that flavor. You're not feeling the rush to have to go through it. Definitely like a nice social type beer with this one.
I don't know about you, but I get more of a orange flavor feel to it than
I get an orange. Well, I mean, I get the orange.
tangerine, I
I do get the
guess.
orange tangerine. I get a little bit of that grapefruit, like I said earlier.
Which is not a bad thing. I think the flavor on
Yeah,
the thing, I think it's a really good tasting beer. I think it's a really good tasting beer.
yeah. It's pretty solid. James said the one he's having at Baltic Porter, 9.5%.
Nice.
Lots of baker chocolate notes, which is pretty common there. Pabst Extra, easy to find Ontario, and there's also a 5.91. Yeah, and the one that we got here is 6.5. So
Yeah.
different versions for whatever different laws, I guess, for what they have to do. Got Jeff in the house. What's going on, Jeff? Cheers,
What's up,
homie.
Jeff?
Drinking a Convex Refraction by Jackie O's, which Jackie O's is just north of me as well, out of Athens,
Nice.
Ohio. Represent. We got Hoof Hearted being drunk, and we got Jackie O's represent. I'm telling you, you come to the Cincinnati area, there's a lot of beers around this region. I'm just telling you. 13.7% bourbon barrel aged Doppelbock. Oh, I like that. Collab with Burial Brewing, Peace from Boston. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I do wish we got Jackie O's here.
So you don't get Jackie O's in Indiana, but if you go to Louisville, can you get them there?
I've never seen it in Kentucky either. The only time I've ever picked them up was at Jungle Gems.
I'm trying to think if we got them at Party Source. Maybe we don't. The last one I got from Jackie O's, I got from Jungle Gems.
That's the only time I've ever seen them or ever bought them. Anytime we go to Jungle Gems, I usually try to get something from Jackie O's.
I was thinking Party Town might have them as well. And
I could be wrong.
That would be in Kentucky. Jackie O's. Jackie O's Athens. That's the spot that's in the middle of nowhere in Ohio. Just
Athens.
Yeah, it's just like college and nothing.
Oh, yeah.
So what do? You drink. I mean, that's what
right. Yeah.
We did a WVU, right? So, well, we got Main Strauss here in Covington. They actually have it now. That's on tap, so we know we can get it that way. I'm looking here at our Mystic Mama. Oh, you know what? I take that back. That was back in 2017. I don't know if they're still in this area or not. But they do some mighty fine, when I say it, mighty fine beers. And the one that I have upcoming from them that I haven't done yet, just down in this cellar. If I can find it here. I've got their Tepish Perpetuum that I saw. Kind of interesting. It's a sour Berliner Weiss, 6.2% ABV, American sour ale conditioned on fresh pineapples, ginger, and habaneros. And the habaneros is what sold it for me because I like a nice pepper beer. So
yeah,
that'll probably be
done the
one
right way
coming. Yeah,
that one that Jeff's drinking sounds
great. Damn good. Yeah,
because I know I don't know that I have anything from Burial. Maybe one. If I have, is maybe one or two, but I've heard so much good things about Burial.
Yeah.
Which that'd be a place to definitely have to hit when you ever get to Asheville.
Yeah, some of the beer groups that I know, that Burial does some good stuff, is what I always hear. Let me see. James says Pseudo Saison is an old standby in Chicago. Liquor stores love that stuff. Yeah. And see, now Big Daddy says Sue is 7%, but it's not on the can. So I had to go to Untap. And Untap gave me a different number. So that's why you want to make sure you put your shit on the can or the bottle so that people actually know. Because you can't always trust Untap.
No, that's right. That's for sure. Big Daddy, do they print that on the box that comes in? Like on the 4-pack box that it comes in? If you know, let us know if it does. I know they put the date on the outside of the box, which they should, but because you can't see the cans itself.
The one that goes the other way that always bothers me is freaking Bell's. When they get the can, they don't put it on the box. They have to put it in the can inside the box. So you don't know what it is until you open it up. Yeah. That's what
that doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah,
What's the point?
Yeah,
then you can be even more pissed off when you open it up and know you're drinking a 10-month-old or a year-old beer or something,
Yeah. Yeah, somebody probably screwed this up because it says a double dry hop Pseudo Saison 5.8 as well. But this is the regular Pseudo Saison, and they have 5.8 on here. Yeah, so as Joe would say, that's on them. Nobody find the ABV.
Right.
To me, pale ales have a maltier base. Yeah, I mean, pale ales are going to be maltier because they're not going to be as high on the IBU. And then usually, if I remember correctly, with some point I'm going to do the Cicerone stuff. I just haven't decided when. Pale ale, you're usually looking around ballpark it 5 to 6 type range, where India Pale Ales are usually around 6.1 or 6.2 up to the 7.5. 7.5 now is double IPA, but usually your pale India Pale Ales are up around the 7.3, 7.4 area. So and then Big Daddy says, I think. Now, Big Daddy's second guessing himself. Like, maybe it's not. maybe it feels like it should be a 7, but it's not.
Let me check that. Yeah.
And now it's like I can drink more of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. By the feel of it, it does feel like it would be higher ABV.
Yeah. He said he never had the pastry stout. So
okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to pick that up this weekend for sure, because everything I've had from Top and Goliath was pretty damn good.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a pretty good reputation. They put out sour beers from different things I've had. More of their stuff I've had like at some of the festivals or on tap somewhere than here, because Jungle Gems, I think, started getting Top and Goliath. I want to say I feel like it was like just 2 or 3 years ago, like the year before the COVID stuff happened. Because I was talking to the Top and Goliath sales rep when he was bringing in some stuff. Pseudo Saison made for strolling around the field museum looking at fossils and dioramas. It'd be a perfect little walk around type beer. Or in Chicago, going out to hang out by the egg. Go hang out by the egg, have a couple Pseudo Saisons with you. You're in good shape. Get that little breeze off the lake there. But that lake is cold when you hit like this time of the year, usually. Mid to late October, it starts getting a little cool up there in Chicago. What's up, Blake in the house? Cheers, best Warzone player in the world. You don't gotta come in and tell me that, Blake. I already know.
Blake? Be careful there, Blake. You won't be able to see him. His head's gonna swell so big, it's gonna pop off the screen.
Nah, I think of all the ones we probably play with, EB's probably the best one on our teams that when we usually play. He usually has most of the kills and a lot of the stuff. So I know my spot. Like The Rock says, know your role. I know my role. I'm there. I'm there for support, Except he runs off and gets himself killed and is like, okay, now I'm in charge because he's not here now.
That's usually my role. Just run off and get killed.
Playing Modern Warfare with EB is like a dog chasing a car. It's like, hey, there's a guy over there. He's already gone. Like, it's like you don't got to go chase every car that comes by. But that's what we love about. We tease about that all the time.
That's funny.
I think I've seen Jackie O's in Chicago, but I've never bought it. You should. You should definitely check out Jackie
Oh
O's.
yes,
Some really
James,
good
for
stuff.
sure.
I'm sure you'll definitely dig it. But you guys know they don't put the ABV on the box. So
Okay.
it's like you put all these different things on your beer can or your box or your packaging. ABV and date are two things that should be on everything. I just don't get it. I mean, I've talked to some people before because sometimes it's the cost type thing, but I'm like, if you could put all this other stuff on there, or you could put like the independent label, you got room, you can put ABV. I'm just saying.
And it's still mind blowing to me is how it's not mandatory to at least have the ABV on there.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems almost it should have to be like government would make you like you should have to know what you're drinking.
People get
and what the
intoxicated.
strength of it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess in that instance, you'd be like, well, I don't know. I was just drinking this and it tasted like orange juice. I didn't know it was that,
Yeah.
like
you would
drinking this beer here, 5.8 is not terrible, but like still, if you have enough of them, somebody's thinking, no, I don't taste no alcohol. And next thing you know, they're laying on the floor or trying to drive home and they're trying to get their way out of it. Like, that's not that bad. It wasn't that bad. Didn't hardly taste any alcohol. So it's like, I wonder, has any brewery ever been sued over something? Not the drinking and driving part of it, but like somebody getting really fucked up on something because not knowing what the ABV was on it, and then come to find out it was a 10 or 12% beer.
Yeah, I don't know how. I've never heard anything like that happening, but I've had that thought before. Like when you don't have this stuff, if people get too inebriated, not knowing or calculating how they're supposed to drink and stuff like that, and everything as far as mixing stuff up. But you would think something like that. I can't imagine somebody buying a bottle of whiskey not knowing ABV on it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Or a bottle of wine, like without having ABV on it.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the difference? It's an alcohol.
It's got to be some type of loophole or something that must be there, like where maybe beer wasn't covered because beer's usually lower ABV. Like maybe it's something like anything over 25% or something, or even lower to 25 because there's some whiskeys that are like these little cordial type things are like 20%. So maybe there's anything over 20 or 15 has to have an ABV or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird that beer's the only one that I've seen where you don't have to have an ABV on everything by law, I guess. So
right. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
And James said, based on my 2-minute research, like Chuck Woolery back in 2 and 2, Pseudo Saison used to be 5.8, but it's now 7. So I guess they changed the formula because they're no longer contracted with the field. So so maybe they stepped it up to the 7. Yeah. Okay. So whoever had that Untapped has the old ABV shown for it.
So again, that would be the reason because you wouldn't know. At the 1.2%, it's going to be a huge difference. But over time,
you never know. Some people, I see some lightweights out there like, woo, right? Yeah. That's
what I'm saying. Over time, it's
it's like calm down. You had a Bartle and James cooler. You're not that drunk. Bartle and James, what are those guys doing nowadays? I guess they're probably dead because they were old back in the 90s. So
I was gonna say, are they even still alive?
Do they even have Bartles and James coolers anymore? That's another one we didn't talk about really, but that's another one we used to drink like when we were in high school, like Bartle and James. Throw that in the Mad Dog and the Wild Irish Rose and Boone's Farm category of just cheap shit you drank back in the day.
I'm sure that might be one you could just go to the gas station and check and see if they sell it or not.
Oh, definitely a gas station.
Yeah. So I know our gas station right down the street, you can get a Mad Dog there. So next time I'm in there, I might have to check and see if you can get some Bartles and James.
Maybe I should do like a show, like a flashback type show of shit. Like, well, I'm not doing a Mad Dog. Shannon already proved that point. Like, we don't need to go back and revisit that. But maybe some other shit that we drank from back in the day. Like, we talked about doing the Boone's Farm, which she was down for doing the Boone's Farm, I think.
Yeah. Bartles and James would be a good one, too.
Bartles and James would be another one, yeah. I dug the Zima when they brought Zima back out because I was not going near that. That was more of a taste thing.
Yeah. I feel like my mom, which doesn't really drink hardly at all. She might drink a mixed drink here and there every now and again.
Yeah.
But I feel like when Bartles and James, I feel like when I was a kid, I remember she would drink that some, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know if she's watching tonight or not.
Yeah,
But
she
if
watched
you
it.
are,
Okay.
chime in and let me know if it was Bartles and James. You did drink it from time to time. Because they were like weren't they in like little small bottles or something?
Yeah, they were like you bought them like in 4-packs or whatever. They had like the bottles. They kind of had the wrapper like the old Michelob bottles where it was like the tinsel type thing. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why, but I'm thinking she did, but I could be wrong.
She was like, that was my drink back in the day.
That was my jam.
Miss Peggy getting crazy. I don't know why they would change a long-standing beer. Yeah, I mean, they go through different formulas. They try to do different things. If they're taken over by another company, someone else might have suggested it, and it may not have been their wanting to do it, but it might have been something they had to do. I don't know. It's kind of like if you take the new Newcastle brown ale versus the old one, it is different. Lagunitas brews the new one versus who brewed it previously, and it does taste different than what it used to be.
Yeah. That might be better now.
Top One Goliath website says 8%. It's not the egg, it's the bean. Oh, is it the bean or the egg? Okay. Well, it's just, it looks the same. It could be, I don't know. Okay, the bean. But it does kind of have like egg type shape too. But it is the bean. I've been to that a few times in Chicago. Although I like the pier down there. The pier is pretty cool to kick back and relax. Go with the brewer. Yeah. Skygate. Yeah. And the speed limit on LSD is 40. Regarding to the suit, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like I kind of got that feeling reading through the comments.
You're just spitting stuff.
Haven't had Mad Dog 2020 since I was 7. I like how everybody has Mad Dog 2020 when they're underage and it's not legal. It's like once you get the legal age, you're like, oh, not drinking that anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they don't want, at that age, it was just like whatever you get your hands on. And hey, this one isn't grape. Okay, grape. I like grape. It's probably like Kool-Aid, right?
Why not? Yeah,
it's like Kool-Aid. Talk about Mad Dog 2020. Talk about different things that are marketed like toward kids. Like there's different things you can't do because they say it's too marketed toward kids. Those flavors at Mad Dog 2020, I think they were all kind of marketed towards the younger demographic.
I feel like they were too. Plus, they're just at the convenience stores, so I'm sure the old slat behind there working the counter didn't give a shit who was buying what at that point.
Back in the day, I mean, hell, we didn't even need seatbelts back then.
Yeah, right. I remember we had an old Chevy Impala when I was a kid. It was like a 70-something Impala. My mom used to drive it all the time. You can climb up in the back seat where it has where the window come out. That thing was so big, you can ride up inside that and lay down, and it wasn't no big deal. Like I said, that seat belts, you could just do whatever. You wasn't getting in trouble for that.
Oh man, this should be on a T-shirt. I just found this here. Why did I not know about this last year? This right here should be on a T-shirt. I survived 2020 once, and I can do it again.
Oh, that is awesome.
But you look at all the colors are like something like as a kid, like it's a rainbow type thing. That was candy. If that was candy, you'd be all over all the different flavors and colors there. So
I mean, Kool-Aid in a bottle right there is what they make it look to be.
Yeah. So, but I like that. That's man, we missed out on making a lot of money, Todd. We could have had a shirt out there. People would have bought that like crazy. The Gen Xers and the Boomers would have been all over that. So
I do like that. Hell, I'd wear that one. I'd get that one now.
Yeah. Well, I always joke about early in the year, when they came up with the name 2020, we should have known it was going to be a bad year. So,
right? Exactly. Like, again, really, we got to do this again.
What if somebody came back from the future and they actually designed Mad Dog back in the day, and people are like, "Why are you calling it Mad Dog 2020 though?" Oh, you'll find out.
Yeah, just like McFly. It was McFly. Marty.
Right now, there's some guy rich on a yacht because he came up with the idea.
Yeah, exactly. Who's laughing now?
Yeah. Oh, that's what you drink when you're young or poor. Yeah. Yeah. You mean it's there, it's easy, it's cheap. It's like, you know, you didn't know. You're learning the ropes of drinking, and you're like, oh, this is only like a couple dollars if we get this one, and this has like whatever it was, 30% ABV for it, whatever the number was. And you're like, get a buzz. It's like Dave Chappelle comes out again. It'll get you drunk. Skygate's artist name. Oh, for the bean, Skygate's. Okay, the artist for the bean. Gotcha. My going underage drink was Fireball, but totally different today. But see, Fireball's got kind of a candy type feel to it as well. So they were definitely going for the college crowd with those. But if you're in high school, you're probably doing it as well.
The Fireball, to me, has even gotten sweeter.
You got sweeter, really?
I feel like it is. And then, Hot Damn's even sweeter. I thought when I first had Fireball, I was like, okay, this isn't as bad. But now that I drink Fireball,
yeah.
I don't know. It's almost still too. It's okay, but it's almost still too sweet.
It's funny when I think back to we were drinking peach schnapps, fuzzy navels, back in college.
Oh yeah.
And now why would we ever drink peach schnapps? But you were drinking peach schnapps at the time, and which peach schnapps isn't a bad one to actually drink, I guess. But it's kind of now I look back at it it's kind of kind of frilly or something. It's kind of like
my aunt, and then my mom started making them too. They would do fuzzy navels, but they put them in a container and freeze it to where it was slushy.
Oh, okay.
So you put it in your cup, and then you pour some Sprite or a little bit of something in with it. It was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, we used to make fuzzy navels with a kick, which was peach schnapps and the orange juice, but add in vodka into it, so that give it a little bit.
There you go.
Beefing it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Back in the bartending days. I'm trying to think of alcohols that I drank back then that I don't drink now. I don't know if you ever drink Midori, the green alcohol. I forgot what kind of spirit it was, but that was really popular back in the 90s. And some of the drinks, so they have all
I don't remember that one.
Type drinks. Kahlua, I haven't drank Kahlua, and I don't even know. I mean, unless you're making some type of
mudslide or something,
mudslide, or putting it on ice cream. Now you can put it on ice cream, and you'll do all right with Kahlua. That can work. That'll help you get tore up, but. For some reason,
I know some people
Kahlua used to be a lot popular, and it's not as popular now. I don't think nowadays.
Yeah. I feel like these people put it in their coffee and stuff.
Yeah, I can see people would do that, but now if you got the coffee tequila, you put that in the coffee.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Or the Jameson cold brew, put that in some coffee, you're good to go. Of course, that's if you don't have any Baileys around, because Baileys always works. I could drink some Irish coffees all day long.
Shannon's brother got us drinking these shots. They're called green tea shots. And she just walked out the door. I'm going to ask her what was in them. It's some kind of Jameson and peach schnapps, I think. I don't know if you like green tea. I didn't know that you don't taste any of the bourbon or the Jameson or anything in it. It's pretty good because she doesn't like the bourbon kind of feel at all. And she's not a fan of bourbon at all. I remember her. No, and she likes the shots. And here she comes. Hey, Shannon, what's in those green tea shots? Jameson peach schnapps. Do you remember what the rest? I remember those two, but I couldn't remember. A little bit of Sprite. Sweet and sour. Okay, and sweet and sour.
Interesting.
So I don't know what the combinations of them are that you put in there, but they're really good. You can't taste nothing in it. They don't taste like there's any alcohol in it at all. But you drink several of them, you'll start feeling it for sure.
Well, here's the funny thing. This is the Midori that I was mentioning. And it feels like it's still back in the 80s or 90s when you look at
okay.
Yeah, so you'd have the Midori here. and they'd have like different recipes for the margaritas and different things that you could actually put it in, like down here, the different drinks. But
Almost looks like antifreeze.
It does, and it was real popular. It was real popular for a while, but I don't know if many people actually enjoy it as much now. But it was just kind of like this. I don't know. I feel like there's a Miami Vice type vibe or something around. Like it was kind of fancy in some of the fancier type bars. You would see them doing these kind of drinks. You're like, oh, what's that over there? You know, blah blah blah. It's like
it looks familiar now that I see it, but I've never. That I know of, I've never had it.
They would put it on the bars with the light behind it because then the green will pop out and stuff.
Yeah. It almost looks like it's a glow in the dark or something.
Yeah, but we used to make some shit out of that too. Let me see here. James said, in high school, my friends I usually drank Miller Ponies. And the ponies are like the little ones, right? Like kind of like the is that what you called the Miller High Lives, like the 8-ounce bottle or whatever? Weren't they called ponies as well? Ponies?
I feel like they were.
That was the first beer I ever really drank, because I would take sips, bring it to my grandparents when they were like, go in there and get me a Miller or whatever. And it'd like take it off, be like, oh, okay, here you go. 10 minutes later, I'm taking a nap.
Go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, give him some more. He's awake. Give him some more.
Yeah. When I was in the Army in Germany, nightly drinking was a 6-pack of Beck's. Used to drink Beck's back in the 90s as well, and a 4-pack of Bartles and James. Beck's in Germany is much better. Yeah, I don't doubt that for sure. But it's funny. I was watching. There was some movie on the other night, and they were drinking Beck's as part of the movie. I was like, I haven't seen a Beck's in a good amount of time. But yeah, I drank the Beck's back then, and Bartles and James was pretty popular back in, like I said, 90s. I don't think they're still in business anymore, but they were definitely popular.
So, Big Daddy, when was you in Germany? My brother-in-law, Shannon's brother, he was in the Army in Germany
as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think if I could have went to Germany, I would have came back, because Germany just seems like I have friends that loved it over there, and it's like I don't know if I'd ever get with all the stuff you have going on.
Yeah, he said it was great. He still has a really good friend that's German that he met when he was over there, and he still keeps in contact to this day. Like they'll talk and exchange, whatever. They'll try to send each other stuff sometimes. That's where he got his love for like German style beers. It was, from being stationed over there.
Yeah.
So he's just mainly he hates IPAs. He doesn't like the hop flavoring of it, but he's more German through and through for that.
He's more of a lager type person.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which in Germany, all the different styles of lagers they have, it'd be easy to become one over there because you'd have so many different choices. It's not like here where it's just adjunct lager. They got so many different lager feels. Plus, they have those little communities, from what I've been told, like pretty much like the you got your own little pub for your area. They all have like different stuff that different ones offer. Kind of like that becomes like your thing. They're so much big into the whole pub thing over in Europe.
I think on a lot of them now, or most of them, where you can just pour your own and they charge you by like the ounce or whatever it is.
Over there, or over here? Because over here we have places that are doing that now too.
I know there's a few that's opened up over here, but I mean over there, I think that's just almost kind of standard, I believe, isn't it? Or
they may
maybe not everywhere, but I know in a lot of places, I feel like that's what happens.
Yeah, the most interesting thing I heard about over there is like the neighborhood pubs where you go there and you'll drink something and you'll have like you're at a Spanish steakhouse, like a little cart, and you'll flip it over and they'll bring you beer. And it's like you're not paying attention. You get to flip it back. You turn around, oh, another beer. So,
oh yeah.
You can't pour it out. So yeah,
right.
We gotta be careful leaving the pub.
Like, oops, I didn't see your card was flipped over. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, green Mad Dog. It might freshen breath, but then it might also just kill the breath too. Oh, yes, the Becks I used to get in the 80s were probably more like the German version. Probably. Because at that time in the 80s, you're probably getting more imported. And then once the conglomerates got in, they probably started switching stuff up. My wife likes to make homemade Baileys. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a good talent to have. Fireball was known as Dr. McGillicuddy's Fireball Whiskey Shooter, and it was like Cinnamon Hearts Candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely go through all that stuff. So Allagash just released Nocturna for local distribution in New England. It's a 9.5% bourbon, barrel-aged stout with vanilla beans. Picking some up tomorrow. Belgian yeast should be interesting. That does sound interesting.
Ooh.
We do get Allagash down here now at Jungle Gyms as well. I need to pick up some of their stuff as well to go through.
Is Allagash one that does the Speedway stout?
That's AleSmith. That's that one.
AleSmith. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I knew it was something along those lines. Yeah, AleSmith. Okay.
Big Daddy drinking a Blue Moon Juicy Hazy Pale Ale. Do not buy this. That's like brother, where art thou? Brother, where art thou? Do not seek the treasure. You got instant regret. Hashtag instant regret, Big Daddy.
Well, your first step should have been Blue Moon, but
yeah, we should have stopped then, right?
You're right.
But it was the curiosity. It was the curiosity.
I mean, to be honest, I would have probably picked it up and tried it too. So
yeah, important. Well, that's the one they got now. What they got the Pale Moon. Is that the one you're drinking, Big Daddy? The Blue Moon Pale Moon, which is the one they just came out with. Imported Beck's Night and Day. Yeah. Germany 90 to 92. Germany is badass. I love it. Yeah.
Let's see. He's how old? Let's see. I think he's about 3 years older than me. So that would have been about the time he was there then.
It'd be funny if Big Daddy was out there. He was out drinking with your brother. That'd be hilarious.
I mean, that's why I was asking because I'm gonna have to ask him.
Depending where he was, yeah, where they were stationed. That'd be funny if they were stationed at the same base.
I'm gonna message him. I'll message him now and ask him where he was at in Germany. See if he'll answer.
But speaking,
we was talking to him right when we come on the air. In the background, you could hear him talking.
But speaking of Big Daddy, I'm about to crack open the Fat Bear that he sent down from Hop Butcher. Really looking forward to seeing how this one actually tastes as well. Have not had this one. Peanut butter imperial stout brewed with chocolate. So this one is 10.5% ABV. And I got the backside where you got the hop cone, which is always cool how they put that on there with the hop cone. And you can kind of know what to go for on the flavors and everything. Date on this one.
I always think their can art's really cool. I always like their can art.
Yeah, 7/22/21. Bear down is what I got printed on the can as well.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, their can art. I think it's the same guy that does all their stuff. Because I was looking at the Hop Butcher. I got Hop Butcher uploads coming this week. If I might try to get them all out this weekend if I can on the beers they sent me. And every time it was like Dan, I think Grizik might have been the last name. He was always doing their artwork. So I like the look of the stuff they do. Crack this baby open. Ooh, peanut butter right out of the can. Oh, that smells like a Reese's in there.
Yeah, the smells is phenomenal.
I just cracked it open and it smelled like a Reese's. Like a Reese's, maybe with a little Twix flavor. Oh, yeah, baby.
I've had this one sitting out probably, since we came on the air.
Cheers to you, Big Daddy. That's a mighty fine looking. Got a nice little
cheers. Appreciate
darkish, tannish, brownish head. Oh my God, that smells fucking like greatness.
Good chocolate on the nose.
That's one of the top peanut butter chocolate aromas I've gotten from a peanut butter beer ever, I think.
I would agree with that one.
That smells so freaking good.
And this one was probably, let's see. Like I said, I did have it before, and I didn't think I had until I actually saw the can. I was like, oh, yeah, I did have that one. But I definitely would want ready to try it again. It's probably maybe one of the best rated peanut butter beers I've ever had.
Yeah. I kind of want to
think of.
I wish I had some Reese's to pair it up with. It smells so freaking good.
I mean, kind of wants to get some of that kind of chocolate syrup, Hershey's syrup kind of smell.
It does. And it's not really coming out like an artificial type feel to it either.
No, not at all. That's usually my problem with peanut butter ones. Is like I've said in the past, is I almost get too artificial with some of them sometimes.
Yeah. Someone's like, I can just sit here and sniff the beer, not even drinking. I still be happy.
I know. Like
Yeah.
I just want to just waft it in the rest of the
Yeah.
night.
Put this shit on a scratch and sniff card, son. Oh, that is smooth. God damn, that's velvety smooth. Oh, what a coating you get in the mouth as well. It's got like a caramelly type feel in the body of it. Nice sweetness. You get that chocolate on that back end that kicks in. Freaking dessert in a glass is what this is.
Yeah,
a little bit of lacing and play.
This is definitely get lacing for sure.
Mm.
It's not overly like rich. It's not overly done, but the sweetness in it's just like
One of those beers
peanut butter flavor isn't. To me, it doesn't taste that artificial.
That's like a get a room beer because you're like,
Ooh.
like get a room.
Put the do not disturb sign and shut the door.
It's like, oh baby, cue Barry White on the radio, and you sit back and enjoy.
Thank you, Big Daddy. I forgot how good that one. I forgot how good that one was. So, even though I had it almost a year ago, definitely because I don't get them here, I would definitely appreciate it. I would take this one. I would take this one all day, any day.
Nice head on it. That 10.5 ABV, nicely in play, not really coming through. That body's a nice full body on it. You're not getting any type of thinness running through it. You get a nice layered complexity to the beer. I hope Jeremiah sends me a couple of these. Shit, this is really good. I've had some
one of those.
That's one of the things with Hot Butcher that I've said in the past. Like people that have seen the Hot Butcher videos, usually they'll send us IPAs or occasionally it'll be a double. Mostly it's double IPAs, occasionally an IPA, triple IPA, but they'll send some stouts in there. Their stouts have been really more of the surprising effect for me. They make some really good stouts, even though it's not their full focus. Like their Dark Black is one of my favorite beers they actually do. That and the Digital Frontier, which is a triple IPA. And this one is right up there with Dark Black as well as being solid. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but that was...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that
trying
is
to
so
figure
smooth.
out, messaging my brother-in-law to see when... what years he was in Germany. He just messaged back, asked him where he was at. He was in, and I know I'm going to butcher the name or how to pronounce it. Adar Oberstein. He said it was a sub-community of Baumholder. I guess is how you would say that. So I don't know if Big Daddy's still out there. If any of that sounds familiar or whatever, that's where he was at, though.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Let us know, Big Daddy. But you also have Wurzburg, Hometown Beer, Julius Ector, Hefe, great. Was that what you had over there at Wurzburg? Because Wurzburg definitely sounds like a German area. Oligash, good stuff. I do agree. I misread the label. It's Blended C by Maplewood. So good. So good. So good. Hey, we got Mallory in from Imperfectly Meat Crafts. Cheers, Mallory. If you don't know Mallory, check her out. She's got some little videos that she's been doing. Well, she's been doing these 60-second sips, which have been pretty cool too. So for those of you like the shorts format, she does like a quick little beer thing in a minute, which is nice to check out.
Yeah, but I forgot what I was saying now before when you said sorry, cut me off. I don't remember what I was getting ready to say. And I started messaging him back and forgot what I was talking about.
I'm just lost in this beer right now. It's like
I know
I'm having a Pulp Fiction 5-hour milkshake moment with this thing. Like, God damn, that's a good one.
Man, how good do you think this would be if you just had like a bowl of vanilla ice cream and just poured that over, or just made like a float, like a
salted caramel ice cream, like salted caramel.
Yeah,
vanilla.
that would be good too.
Yeah.
I've made like root beer floats with the Mike or the hard root beers or whatever.
Oh, the hard root beer, yeah.
Yeah, and those are really good. But
Yeah,
this with just have like some ice cream or whatever, just make you just drop a couple of scoops of ice cream in there. Man, that would be. I can see
you put
that
some
for
ice
sure
cream in
too.
there. Wilford Brimley might show up. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, diabetes for sure.
Mm. And I like that caramelly textures that I really like there as well. I mean, I would sit back and enjoy this as a dessert beer, or if I was having a dessert, like something like some type of caramel tiramisu type dessert. This would go well. Oh, speaking of dessert beers, Sonder came out with a beer this week. Actually, I can find it. It's the have you ever had their tiramisu auto stout?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, they just came out with the barrel-aged version of it where they actually added some other stuff to it. So now it's basically the Neapolitan. It's got vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. So I may have to go out this weekend and look for it. I don't need to want to try to buy more beer, but with craft beer, you have to buy it when it's available. That's the problem with the whole thing. So
exactly.
I'm going to see if I can find some of that, because if they're making that local, that Neapolitan stout, I love that. And if I can get something like that, even comparable to it, I'm freaking on board. But you guys say, "Yup, Blue Moon sucks." Well, I mean, it's under Miller, so
it is what it is.
Germany has the lager styles made in one town, and the town one brewery. Bavaria region is known for using DOP protections on local styles. Yeah. They like each town, they come up with different things, and some of the beers are named after their different regions. It's funny, I had a guy one time tell me, he was like, "Well, if you're doing the whole rice gambot or whatever, you don't use other things." I'm like, you do realize like Gozens were created in Bavaria, which is part of Germany. Like they weren't supposed to be using like the coriander or something that they use for the Gozen. So there's different things where people put spins on stuff for sure.
Right.
How about a peanut butter beer paired with a raspberry framboise? Oh, whoa.
A little PB&J action or something?
I didn't think about that. Yeah, that would be something interesting. That would be pretty rich, though, of a drink.
Would think.
I'm pretty sure Wilford Brimley would show up for that one. Who is it? Knock, knock. Who's there? Diabetes.
Yeah.
Nice alcohol stout. Lacing, yeah, the lacing is nice on this one here. I'm telling you, man, Hot Butcher, you can't go wrong with Hot Butcher. You just can't. That's why whenever I'm back in Chicago, hopefully the new place is open, I can get out there and check them out. I mean, it's just, they kick ass on everything they do.
Yeah, if I definitely get up that way anytime soon or again, I'll definitely make that on the list to see.
Which beers over 10% were put in 12-ounce cans or bottles, 16 ounces of a big beer like that. I'm down for the count just to see it. Yeah, you got to know your levels. You got to know your levels, right? So, which they have done some things for some of the bigger type beers. For instance, Epic. We talked about Epic and their Big Bad Baptist beers. They actually went to 6-pack 12-ounce cans. So you can now get them in a smaller size, which is great. You also had, I'm trying to think who it was. Somebody else went to doing it like where you get smaller cans. I think Evil Twin has done on some of their stuff so that people can have it in a more easy type feel rather than not trying to go through a pint can that might, like you said, knock you down for the count. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, really. And that it seems like most breweries have also kind of gone away from the big bomber type bottles too.
Yeah.
Not totally, but a lot of them are for sure.
Well, the problem with the bombers are for a lot of people, I don't know if that's a lot or a good amount, whatever it is, you want to share it with somebody because you're 22 ounces in and this is a 15% type thing or whatever, possibly, right? Like I know people that want to share the Avery 12 ounce, like Uncle Jacob stout, where it's like 16 plus percent.
Yeah.
I knocked that baby out solo, but okay, some people want to share that. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's not for everybody. It all depends on what you know to handle. But if I drink one of those, I'm probably not drinking anything big again for a while. I might have that.
drink a whole bottle of Utopus in a whole sitting in
Yeah,
one
I
night.
mean,
You know, what happens? What happens?
It's only 28%. I mean, come on.
Which I think they just now released it again. I think it just come out again.
Yeah, it's like $2.40 a bottle for it. So yeah, but it's like when you're
But
in the
then
zone, you're in the zone.
didn't they come out with a beer? Oh, it was mixed with that. Who
Oh,
was that?
they bought Dogfish Head. They got the Utopia.
Yeah, I was just say
The
it was
Utopia,
Dogfish Head, wasn't it?
whatever. Yeah, worldwide
Yeah.
stout Utopia. So yeah.
Yes, there you go. I haven't seen that one yet.
Well, I think with those you have to get them in Delaware.
Okay.
I think it's limited there. So, but yeah, but I'm so used to drinking a lot of these big beers now. It doesn't really faze me as much, but yeah, depending on when you're drinking stuff, it can definitely put some hurt on people. My type session beer. See, Gilbert, he'd be all right with this beer. It's right, nice session beer, right? 10.5%. Knock it out. But a Southern Tier Oktoberfest in Pittsburgh were fantastic. Oh, great! I got to check out your video because I think you may have done a video from down there. So Mallory and Chu's her husband. They went to Pittsburgh a couple weekends. I think it was a couple weekends ago, and they
it was
days down there. Yeah, and I was like, well, I told them about Southern Tier. Southern Tier ended up having Oktoberfest there, so they went there and were able to have a good time apparently. So,
nice.
So if you put up videos on there, I have to check out your channel as well to see all the stuff there. I've just been running around with work and doing everything, and I apologize for people I haven't gotten to your comments yet. I will get to the comments usually at least two, maybe three times a week. I answer comments like Saturday or a big day for me answering comments if I haven't replied yet because I'm usually doing it while I'm watching the football games on college. But it's just been work. It's been crazy. And time, you know how it is with work. Work is kind of crazy. And then I've also got other YouTube channels that I've actually been doing as well that I've actually picked up from Steam that I've been going through as well. But I will get to all your comments for sure. But I'm glad you guys had a fantastic time. I do want to check out that brewery when I'm back in Pittsburgh as well. And Southern Tiers, another one, does not let you down. They do solid beers all around. Got Peggy in the house. What is happening? You want to ask her the question? You want to ask her the question now? Is she still here?
Oh, the Bartles and James?
Yeah.
Was it Bartles? Mom, if you're still there, was it Bartles and James that you used to drink back long years and years ago when I was a little bitty kid? Or...
Your son said.
I just remember that you used to drink those for some reason. And I could be totally wrong, but
your son said you were getting sauce, Peggy, on Bartles and James.
Sauce, just saying. And the old frozen, what were those? Fuzzy navels.
Yeah, fuzzy navels. A little piece schnapps. You got a little piece schnapps in your purse there, Peggy? What's up, Sam? Nice to have you back in here from Australia, my friend. Hopefully things are well for you and having a great week. And now you're into the weekend almost. So hopefully things are going well. If you're enjoying something, let us know too. Sipping a Fat Bear with you. Oh, Big Daddy's got a Fat Bear with us as well. Big Daddy, this is
nice.
Salute to you, man. This is a nice one for today. That's just tasty. That's just goodness in a glass. I can give the Frank the Tank the way it hits your lips. Go a little old school with it. That's just how solid it is. That gets the Frank the Tank approval. I need to come up with something for that. Frambo's flows of serious calorie bombs. Oh yeah, I bet. And Wilford Brimley will be at the house knocking.
That's right.
Never heard of where your brother-in-law was. I was in Bavaria, an hour north of Munich. Oh, I would love to be in Bavaria. I mean,
okay.
Styles and stuff they come out with there too. Prefer the 16-ounce can over the 12-ounce bottle or can. I like a good pint can. I'm not going to lie, but I think to the point that was being made is just how much you can actually consume. So if you have a 12-ounce can, you're doing like a 16-ounce beer. Not everybody wants to go the extra 4 ounces with that one. So I can understand that too.
Also, I feel like on the bombers, like we were talking, is even if it's not a super huge ABV, you're almost kind of pot committed at that point. Like you want to you're stuck having to drink the whole thing at that point.
Yeah, you're like, I'm fully in. Like, I can't turn away right now. It's like,
Especially if it's just kind of like, I don't really care for it or whatever. But it's like, now I gotta be fuck. You have to drink because I ain't pouring it down the drain.
We've gone too far. We just cracked it open. We went too far. It's open, so we went too far.
That'd be like a bomber of the Blue Moon pale ale. Like, all right, I guess I have to now. Like, no, never mind.
We're in a race against time, against oxidation, so we got to keep going.
Right.
It's like Warzone trying to escape the gas. I'm just saying. Hot Butcher isn't in Ontario yet. Get Hot Butcher to contact a few of our import agencies up here, and we'll local brewery trade side. Yeah. I would love to see them get up there. I mean, they're right there out of Chicago, so Illinois, kind of not too far from Canada. It'd be nice to get them to kick some beers up your way as well. We have a couple of 60-second sips from Southern Tier. Was too loud and crowded for a full video. Well, that can happen at Oktoberfest events. I'm just saying. It's so crazy. Loud. Yeah.
It's just a beer fest in general, right?
You should have stood up. I'm shooting a video over here, people. I'm shooting a video. You want to bring it down a notch? Yeah.
Quiet, please. Quiet.
We did a full brewery video at Penn Brewery the next day. Oh, very nice. The venue was incredible. I've had a few of the Penn beers. Actually, when I was going back to West Virginia to visit the wife's in-laws, they were getting Penn distribution. So Penn had some neat little beers they were actually putting out. So definitely want to check that out. So yeah, if y'all haven't checked out the Perfectly Meat Crafts, make sure you check out Mallory's channel. Give her some likes and subscribes there. She's new to the game with us here in the beer community. Bartles and James is still around. They have 574 flavors. You got to be shitting me.
No way.
No, that can't be right, James.
I mean, I'm not doubting it, but I don't even think there was that possibility that there was even that many flavors.
That's a lot more than the crayon box.
I mean, I guess when you start saying like, strawberry, blueberry mixed or whatever, something like that, that's a flavor of its own, I guess. So I guess I could be.
And I got to ask Google, how many Bartles and James flavors? They can't have 500. How did he give them 574?
That sounds like a lot. James, put the Bartles and James down and step away.
Shit. They do have a lot. It's not 574 though. It's because they're listed right here. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, 3, 4, 60. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 68.
It's the Baskin Robbins of booze.
68 plus 40, 128 plus another 8. You're at 134 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 139 on the Wikipedia page. I'm like, 574 did not seem right, but they got 139 that are listed here. And I'll pull it up here so people can see it as well. Now, maybe there was updates since the Wikipedia page, but these are all the flavors that are listed. Whoa. I am going to stop that before somebody has a freaking
start seizuring up or something.
freaking seizure or something that takes place. Try that one more time, see if it does it again. All right, there we go. So those are all the different flavors that Wikipedia lists, and it says current flavors include. So not quite the 574, unless that was a typo. But apple blossom, apple grove, apple hill, apple margarita. I mean, that's 5 flavors off of apple. So we could possibly take 5 flavor differences there. Cherry hill, citrus.
Like Bubba.
Oh, that's what earlier.
Jumbo shrimp.
We had here the Mad Dog. We were talking about the Mad Dog kind of position. Like, here's the one with the flavors, like dragon fruit. That's easily targeted for someone underage. Like,
right?
Blue raspberry, banana red, electric melon, golden pineapple, red grape.
Well, I mean,
peaches
look at
and
the
cream.
pineapple. He's got sunglasses on. It's like,
yeah. It's like, what adult is going to be like, oh, yeah, I feel like I'm going to have a strawberry kiwi mad dog. I mean, there are adults that drink it, but you're thinking if you're younger, hey, strawberry kiwi sounds cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, so. And this new Mad Dog 2020, the Spike Punch, y'all can try it if y'all want. I'm not going near it, but that's the new thing they're doing here with the tangy orange and the pineapple and the sweet blue raspberry. Like George Bush once said, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Well, you fool me once, you can't fool me again.
Yeah. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, Roger. Don't be scared.
Oh, that's my favorite George Bush quote, by the way.
What's the rap song he plays that in it?
Oh,
have you ever heard that one?
I haven't heard that one. I don't think.
Oh, you haven't? He plays the little skit in there.
When he says,
fool me once. Yeah. Can't fool me again. It's freaking funny. Then he goes on and starts rapping. Oh, God, who is it? It's pretty good, though. It's like the song is actually pretty good. Yeah, but then it just stops and he plays that. I don't even forget what it leads up into, but it's like, this is a great.
I remember when he said it, that cracked me up when I heard it. I was like, I like that quote. Yeah. So. Plus, George Bush would have been great for dodgeball because he ducked his shoe that time he got thrown at him over in China or whatever. So, duck, dip, dodge, you know?
Yeah.
If you share a 16-ounce can with a friend, you're both only doing 8 ounce. Well, that's the thing, though. 8 ounce of a 16 ABV beer. So, you are cutting down on the consumption by being able to split it. Like at Beer Fest, people like sometimes people come to Beer Fest and Todd's been there, so he's seen it with me there when he's serving. It's like, oh, can I just get it halfway? Like, what?
Why?
You have a full ticket. You have a full ticket. You don't want to fill up your cup all the way if you're going to use that ticket. Why would you only want to get half? Oh, I don't want to get too hammered. What? You're at a Beer Fest. What do you mean you don't want to get too hammered?
That's like we went to that Beer Fest over the summer, and my brother was with us, and they gave us the card to mark them off. He's like, "What is this?" It's like, "Oh, they'll mark." I said, "They'll mark it off every time you take get a beer. Like you're only supposed to be limited."
Yeah.
I'm like, promise. I was like, I promise you, by the end of the night, you might not have the first row even filled up. So our competition was to see who could end up with the least amount of check marks.
There you go. Right.
So I was like, I won. I had like 2. The whole time we were for 4 hours, I had like 2 check marks. Only had 2 people that even asked, like, "Can I check it?" I was like, "Yes."
Oh, it's funny. I joke, and Todd's actually, like I said, Todd's actually been to a couple beer fests with me here where we've done stuff. But, here in Cincinnati, you get tickets you have to give out, right? And it's kind of like, hopefully nobody's watching that actually watches over these things or whatever. But it's kind of like, after a point, you're like, what are you doing? Like, oh, they give you a ticket. Oh, we don't want your ticket. Keep your ticket for your next ticket. Right. We're supposed to legally take the ticket or whatever. And like, nobody ever gets through all their tickets. You always have tickets at the end of the night. And we deal with some big beers at that Beer Fest. So it's kind of like people come out and they are hammered. It's a fiasco. My wife hit me at one time. She's like, what happened? And like people are out in the street dancing and running out after it's over. And we have a good time at the Cincinnati Beer Fest. It's a good time. So if you're ever in Cincinnati, the next one in February or March, you should definitely look into coming because it's a blast.
Yeah, they did tickets, and a lot of them will do the check marks, on the card. Which I remember the first time I started seeing that was they brew at the zoo. So they have a beer fest at the Louisville Zoo when they first started years and years ago. The first few times they didn't have it. I don't know if they passed the law or something that they had to limit so many beers or whatever. But I remember the first time they handed the cards out, and of course they were like laminated. So when you put the mark on there, if you got to it fast enough, you could take it right off, so you wouldn't have it. So you would see people like walking out, getting your pour, and then turning around, and they were trying to lick the card to lick the stamp off. I was like, "Come on, man! Are you really gonna like?"
It's looking like never been to one of these because I'm thinking it's looking like an acid festival or something.
Of course, I didn't, and then I never. I mean, it was still the same way. Like after the first hour, like nobody's marking that stuff unless there's a supervisor, or not a supervisor, but somebody that's standing there watching or something. They'd mark it, but it's like nobody cared after that. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Everybody, it was funny to watch. You just stand back and everybody's just standing around and licking their cards, trying to get the check mark off of there. It's like,
Yeah,
God.
that's like a traveler's tip. Like if you ever go out of town and you go to a beer festival, just realize not all beer festivals are the same. Like I know people like out in California, they're a little more stricter, I think, on stuff I've seen. Like they can't drink when they're serving at their beer festivals. So that's some of the stuff I've seen. Here it's like encouraged where we actually are able to drink, you know. It's like
Yeah.
the beer festival that we volunteer at, it's like they're like, you could drink, you know, we want you to drink, have a good time, but like don't be that guy. Like we don't want to send you home or whatever. And you're like, so wait a minute. I can serve and drink, and if I get too hammered, the worst thing is you send me home early.
You're right.
How am I losing here? I don't know
Sign
how I'm
me up.
losing. Yeah.
Or if it was like when you got work together at the quickie station or whatever they called that, where you just hand out
Build
drink.
a
Like
cup.
you're at a beer fest and you're handing out you're at a quickie station to hand out more beer while you're standing in a line. Like, what are you doing?
It's like, why would you want to come? It's like, you're not going to run out of tickets anyway. You don't even need the quickie station. It's like we put out stuff and we wanted to walk around and came back and refilled it up. But yeah. But nowadays, it's kind of like, now I'm like a veteran. Now, like, I know where everything is. So I get in there and it's like, oh, I can do this. So everybody run to their little areas. And I'm like, oh, I've done this many a time. So I can like kind of float, let me know where you're like, oh, cool. Yeah, if you know your thing, then we'll get you when we need you. But like, I end up just walking around drinking most of the time. My friends that show up are like, are you working any of the booths? Yeah, I'm kind of in this area right here.
Here, sort of.
Best thing ever, volunteer. You have to wait in line. You'll get whatever you want because you get the volunteer shirt on. It's just awesome. So,
if they have it in February.
Oh, they're having it. They're having it. Yeah, they're having it.
Sign me up for I'll come and work it with you again.
Yeah, they're set to actually have it for that one. That'll be a big one too. But the one that we just had in the summer was actually a good one. And there wasn't as many people there. So again, I was kind of just floating around and enjoying some nice beers and kind of hanging out, you know.
Yeah, definitely come work that one.
Yeah. It's a nice experience. Well, for me, I get to meet and talk with a lot of the guys from the beer industry too, which is awesome. But it's nice. It's nice. And then we get like people that come in doing like the beer taffy and different other things that are pretty cool and creative. And I'm just mad I missed the beer bacon bourbon festival.
Oh yeah,
I missed that one that weekend.
I don't think they had it here this year.
Yeah. Well, they had it up here, and people went, and they had the Geta Fest, and they had the Italian. So they're back to doing some of the different festivals, but I didn't go to Oktoberfest just because it was going to be so many people that were there, and there's still some of the concerns around the whole COVID type thing, and we were in a hot zone at the time. So I ended up not going to that, even though like we were the biggest in the world. But the Beer Fest, a little bit more controlled and stuff. So that'll be at Duke Energy Center, which is a nice play. But guys, I'm an electrician. What do you guys do? Curious. I actually work like kind of in the financial. I work for an insurance company in the financial field. So technically, I'm considered to be a wholesaler, which is basically I deal directly with financial advisors on the products they deal with clients. So that's what I do as far as a general ballpark.
So for 20 years, I used to be a salesman and worked in the kind of the woodworking industry for doors, like architectural doors. And then when COVID hit, I lost my job. So now I actually work in what we call in the division for the bank that they call warehouse lending. So we kind of like process home loans and mortgages, second loans and stuff, refis and stuff like that. So never done that before, but that's what I do now.
It's a new hat in a new age.
That's right. Yeah.
James says I was exaggerating for comic effect. So he was going for the comedian. Angle. All right, little.
Pretty close though. Close enough.
All right, little Dave Chappelle. He thinks that's the longer the stream goes on, the less reliable I am. That happens because we have a good time. We enjoy a few beverages, and we let what happens take place.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I saw the wiki page and thought 574 flavors. You too could be an accountant for Arthur Anderson.
I was saying it's like the Baskin Robbins of alcohol.
House husband is semi-retired, read unemployed, English teacher, and freelance writer. That Big Daddy. Yeah. So I don't know if I ever asked you, James, but I know you're doing the freelance writing. Do you have a blog, by the way, that you kind of put stuff up on? Kind of curious. I can't remember if we talked about that when I was in Chicago. I don't think we did, but checking. Did the Bartles and James have the ads of the old white Florida guys pouring booze dressed like the 80s and sitting on the porch and watching it cut the grass?
That's what I remember. For some reason, I always thought it was like on a bus bench or something, waiting for the bus to come or something. But it must have been on the porch.
Oh, hold on. Let me see here.
Unless they had commercials where they were on like a park bench or a bus bench, whatever.
Yeah. Let me take a look here real quick. Bartles and James. Oh. How old am I? I'm so old. I remember when YouTube didn't have advertising.
Right. It's kind of like I remember when MTV had videos.
I remember MTV had videos and YouTube was just you watched a video. You were
there was no advertisement. Yeah, like what? What do you mean?
Let's see. I think this is what he was alluding to here. My computer's going a little slow. The old one here, I won't play the volume because get the mark. But yeah, he's sitting there talking on the front porch. The one guy never really said anything. He was kind of like what was that little that duo? Kind of like not Penn. I think it was Penn and Teller.
Sort of,
yeah, like the one guy never says anything. He's rocking the white socks there with the shoes, the tie.
The kind of high top, sort of.
You definitely feel like it's country living for sure, right? So, yeah.
The guy on the right's got his hat tilted backwards where he's just like, end of the day, I'm ready to just do some Bartles and James, baby.
I almost feel like it's part of like Forrest Gump. Like, ooh, your mom's going to care about your education.
The guy on the left looks like he's going to jump up and just take off running at any point.
Yeah. Good old Ma was tricky that Forrest didn't even know. But let's see.
That's funny.
Oops, come on. Yeah, they were campy anti-heroes, right? Yeah. What's up, Rigopolis? What you feel was drinking? Just join. We're actually consuming right now Hot Butcher, the Fat Bear, courtesy of Big Daddy Mojo that shot it over. And we had the Pseudo Saison before that. And I was gonna say I need to check out your stuff because I think you posted, maybe it was Instagram or YouTube, but Rigopolis actually has a new beer channel as well. So
nice.
Another one to check out there. But welcome. Great to have you aboard here. I haven't given a big welcome today, have I? So welcome. There you go. Went to Festival of Barrel Aged Beers. Nothing under 9%. I had a VIP pass for unlimited samples, and I was the asshole that couldn't stand up.
It happens. 9% and above.
That can happen.
It will happen. Yes.
I feel like if I ever went to Dark Lord Day with Three Floyds, I might be that guy. Because I see pictures of people laying down on the ground, like just totally tore up.
I think everybody's that guy for that.
Yeah.
From what I've seen also. I've never been, but I want to go.
It's like, who's not laying down on the ground? It's like, what did you not drink? Did you not have anything today? Like, everybody's hammered.
It's a bottle share with 1,000 of your closest friends, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, every
go to the beer fest.
every February, at the end of February, I believe it is, or maybe the first week of March, we have a Bach Fest here. And they actually have the higher ABV box that they do, the double, the triple box, and people can hammer for that as well.
Ooh.
I didn't go last year because it was still in the midst of the COVID type stuff. And actually, they only had like a couple places where you could possibly go to, but everybody was all kind of under the direction of how you had to be there. So it didn't feel like the whole Bach Fest taking place, but they bring that back. That's another good time. That's usually the week before the Beer Fest happens. Anti-heroes. I'm just waiting for the old white dudes speaking what they actually think about the hell. Consider going to curtain sales as a career. Wait.
Oh, there's another joke. All right, I like it.
I haven't seen Mallory come in with the curtain jokes before.
That's what I'm saying. There's another one right there.
She meant to
not my choice, Mallory, not my choice. Not my choice, Mallory. Not my choice.
Mallory caught on quick to the whole curtain thing. She's the first one tonight that made the curtain.
I know she is. And JV popped in for a minute. He didn't say nothing. That was disappointing.
And even Wayne's not here to even do anything.
Yeah, so Wayne's not even here to say anything.
Picking up and running with it.
She did. She had to.
She blamed her husband. She said Shu wants to know.
Okay, yeah. Blame the husband. See, exactly. I get blamed for it. And I'm here all the time.
Yeah. I need to start a public blog where I definitely have spent too much time playing Civilization. I think you do. I think you should start a blog for sure. Yeah. I think it'd be kind of awesome. So, especially with you doing the freelance writing, giving your views. You could even do a blog on Civilization, stuff like that. It's kind of fun for people. Oh, Dee Dee's in the house. Must have been a late night at the golf course.
Oh, Dee.
Oh, must have been traveling. What up, Rod? Hey, Todd. Cheers to y'all. Before you ask, I've been playing a lot of golf. No.
I'm playing Monday, Double D. I'm on vacation. I'm playing Monday.
You've been playing golf?
I'm going to.
You've been playing golf, huh? What? Playing golf? What?
That's the bottom line.
Which I do have the Stone Cold IPA review coming up. I did drink that, and I will share that at some point here. So that'll be something upcoming to look forward to. Well, I know you've been playing some golf for sure. I need to play some. I've been playing golf probably for about 3 years now, I think. Clubs are just down there in the garage.
Oh,
we really had 5 TV channels. You had to walk across the room to change the channel. Yeah, we had 3 on the VHF. We had maybe 6 or 7. I think 3 on the VHF, 3 or 4 on the UHF. But as far as the walking across the room, that was just you as a kid because your parents, you were the new remote control. So
right.
I can remember walking across, making that turn, messing with the antenna, trying to get the right signal. They're like, "Oh, stay right there. Now turn it this way. Turn it that way. Put your foot up. Put the tinfoil
right.
Put the tinfoil on."
Don't move. Don't move.
Oh, yeah, we were the remote control back in the day. Remember when the phone rang, everybody in the house ran to answer it? Yeah. Yeah, back in nowadays, nobody answers the phone, I think. A lot of houses are like, let it go to voicemail.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk. Let's see. Yeah.
And
I don't know the number. I'm not picking up.
Of course, in the 90s, when you were trying to log on to AOL and someone would pick up the phone and like, I'm on a computer, so yeah, that happened.
Right.
So. And some of y'all don't remember what AOL is, so here's a reminder.
That's awesome.
And then you were online.
I want a ringtone that does that. I wonder if you can get a ringtone for that.
I think you can. I think you can.
You have to, right? Yes, that'd be perfect. That'd be awesome.
And as soon as you got on, you've got mail. I was like, I got mail. You hear that? I got mail.
Like Shannon's best friend still has AOL. I didn't even know that was still around.
I know it's still even impossible to have AOL out there still. That's crazy. It's like, who are you connected? What chat room are you in?
And those like people. Her and 3 other people.
Yeah. And the young kids of today don't know anything about the chat rooms from back in the 90s. Yeah. That was the I guess the pre-Plenty of Fish. What is this? Like red stockings. Naughty nurses. What? Oh shit, the way you throw mud in our face. Yeah. What mud? No mud. No mud. With the hot butcher, he said, yeah, Big Daddy Mojo, he set it in for us to check out. So
I looked it up. That's for sure.
This is one of the best peanut butter beers I've had. Y'all know I like my peanut butter beers. Definitely the 80s. There's an AC window. Yeah. There was an AC window.
Yes, Gilbert. When I was a kid, we didn't have central air. I don't even know if it was even a thing then. My mom and dad had the only air conditioning unit in the house.
Yeah.
Super hot nights. My brother was lucky to go sleep on the floor in the air conditioner so we would sweat our asses off.
Yeah.
That was like a good night. Like, yeah, come on in. It's 95,000 degrees out there. Okay.
Yeah. I can remember going to visit like in the South as a kid.
That's
Like,
funny.
they'd be like, we don't have air conditioning and we just, get the fans and stuff. Whoa, you get the fans is blowing hot air.
Right. It's even hotter. Turn that shit off.
The fans still got any Freon. I was like, I gotta get back up north. I can't be down here in this heat, Alabama heat.
No.
What's up, Skip? Cheers, homie. Happy Thursday to you, my friend.
Skip?
Hopefully you're having a great week. CompuServe, the internet was $3 per hour. I remember CompuServe. Remember
$3 an hour?
Yeah. I remember AOL. I remember back in college in late 80s, early 90s, and this is something they did like in war games as well. Like I had friends that actually did record the tones of the phone. So they could call home by playing a cassette of the different tones as if they put money into the phone.
Ah.
Yeah, so they would go to the payphone and they put the
There
cassette
you
and
go.
do it, and it would dial through like they actually put money into the phone. Yeah. Now people that are younger, the millennials and the younger are like, what's a payphone? So
Yeah.
back in the day, they had a payphone. I mean, how do you think Superman put his outfit on? He had to go into the phone booth. Nowadays, Superman couldn't even get into his uniform because he couldn't get a phone booth anywhere.
You got nowhere to change. What are you doing?
He had to run to McDonald's.
That's like the kids at the. Have you seen that video where they got the Dow phone rotary phones?
Oh yeah, the rotary can't figure out how
and
to
they're
do
asking them to try it. Yeah, and they can't. They have no idea how to dial the number. Like what? I was like, there's no way they. I could probably do that to my daughter now, and she would have no clue how to dial a number on that.
And you want to freak out the young kids, you tell them. Now, back in the day, there used to be a number you'd actually call to ask what time it was.
Yeah.
and people would actually use it. They would call the number, like ask what time it was.
Was it time and weather, too, I think, wasn't it? Like, just stick your head out the window and see what the weather is.
And there used to be a time when you dial in, you had to get the person on the line for the operator to place the call for you at time too. So yeah, kids today they have no idea what it used to be.
That's Mayberry shit there.
They'd be like operator. They'd be like operator. Yes, I'm trying to place a call to you. Hold on. They get you over to where you need to go. Yeah, that was back in the day. Somebody's job was actually sitting there just to give time to people. Think about that. Like my job, hey, yeah, it's 9:20 p.m. right now. Oh, thank you. That's your job. That's your job. When nobody's calling, just like swirl around in the chair, like, oh, I wish somebody would call me. That's what time it was. Nobody in 20 doesn't know the struggle of answering the fax line. Oh yeah, answering the fax line.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. And the way to get to the seventh ring, it'll go to the fax. People running through the office trying to get them.
It was like, no.
Oh,
Damn it.
Punch card systems. People don't realize like the computer you have right now, a laptop or whatever like that, everything, like a whole room used to be that computer back in the day. Like that was the size of a room almost.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays, like to record music, everybody's just like, download or whatever. No, you don't know the idea with the whole cassette. You don't get the cassette. You didn't have the cassette. You had to download, hit the record. And then if it would get out of whack, you had to get a pencil to get the tape back in order.
Tighten it back up. Yeah.
Or your 8-track where you knew after a certain amount of times it would start repeating. So you can only listen to a song a few more times before you throw the 8-track away, right? Because it can't last forever. Yeah, so.
Or back before you had like the dual cassette where you could record and put, off the radio at the same time, you just had to put your cassette player up to the radio to record it.
Yeah.
Then you get somebody coming in the background going, "What are you doing?" Like, gosh, damn, now I gotta wait till next week to hear this song again.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding
Yes.
me?
Waited all night just to hear this song, and now I gotta wait for Casey
Oh.
next Sunday to record it.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. You just
Sorry.
sit there with your finger near the button because you had to get it before the DJ started talking again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Trying to make a mixtape over here. Why are you talking? Why are you talking right now? Yeah. Yeah. Then when you played it back on the double tape boombox to make sure it's synchronized right, so it roll from one song to the next. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The good old days. The good old days.
The good old days. They don't know the trouble of the 45 when you lose the centerpiece. You need that centerpiece to play the 45 in the record player. I don't have that centerpiece right now. Where's that? Where's that center? Like, then you're trying to balance this little record on here at the needle, and the needle's kind of wobbling. And you're like, hang in, hang in.
Oh god, that's awesome.
Or you go back to Blockbuster, and you're like, oh my god, I didn't rewind the tape.
Yeah, you're gonna get charged. Next time you go in, you get a $2 charge.
I'm gonna charge you because you didn't rewind. Be kind, rewind. Get your rewinder right here.
And they had just the little players that just rewound videotapes. That's all it did. It's like,
and now they're saying, "What's a Blockbuster?"
Yeah, right. What is that?
There's only one that's left. I think it's up in like Delaware, not Delaware, but Maine or somewhere.
Yeah,
yeah. Blockbuster is the place to go.
I remember back in the day, it was get there early on a Friday before everything was gone. If you get there too late, it's like you're screwed. You ain't gonna see nothing. You don't want to do anything. I'm not gonna get nothing. Like, well, they got this. Yeah, I saw that last week. I don't want to watch that again. Well, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow.
I can remember going to Blockbuster, and what Blockbuster would do, for those of you not familiar with Blockbuster, they would have like an empty video case of whatever movie you're looking for. And behind it, it would have the actual movie. And so you were like, oh, you're there for a new release or something. Like, say, like The Matrix or whatever. Oh, The Matrix is in. You go there. And it wouldn't be behind it. Someone else would have put a movie in there. You're like, son of a bitch. And you're like, they're out. And it's like, oh, we're supposed to have somebody return today by 7 o'clock. And you're like, it's 6:40. I guess I'll hang out and wait.
Yeah, I'll wait. Yeah. And
you're watching the Dropbox to see if the box of videos come down. And what just got dropped in? What just got dropped in?
Is that it? I remember you probably remember this too, I guess, when that first became a thing, like before Blockbuster, or like the little convenience stores would rent video tapes or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember we used to rent before we even had a VCR. I used to rent like a video or a DVD or a VCR player and 3 movies or something for the weekend for whatever the price was back then. But it was one of those old like stand up and the cassette came out the side, it was like, we didn't have a VCR player then. It was like you just had to rent the VCR player and the movies. That was a good night. That was a good night. Like, I must have been good this week.
Yeah, that was when the struggle was real, folks, for you young people out there. It's not all red boxes. It wasn't all that way. Always like that. That was when some picked up the phone and killed your AOL connection. Yeah, right? It seems like an eternity. It does.
It does.
It was like you were on, and there are people in the States that do have dial-up in some spots still, too, which blows my mind, like how does not everybody have broadband, Like, I feel like it should be everywhere, but there are some rural areas where they haven't laid it out there and they can't do anything but the dial-up still. But yeah, they would definitely kill the connection there. You can never get through on my home phone because I was downloading on the out binaries with Ford Agent. Yeah, damn, it took forever to download. The 14.4K was slow. Still have RocketMail.com email. That was old school too.
Rocket Mail.
Yeah. It's like you said Netscape. Nobody would know Netscape like today that are younger. Like anybody under probably 30 or so would know what Netscape even was. But Netscape was a big player back then.
I remember downloading stuff off of Napster when Napster was first around.
And Napster was huge.
It would take you, I don't know, it'd take you an hour to download one song, because it was on dial-up. So it was like, and if somebody would pick up the phone, like you were screwed, like you had to start it all over again. Like it's gonna take me months just to download one damn song. It ain't even popular no more. Like, I don't even want the song no more. I don't even want it. It's old. It's old.
Cut it.
Yeah, forget it.
Oh my God, there was some funny shit back then. Please call to your parents to pick you up, say where you are and your name, so they could deny it. Right, you was put code in the name sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, nope. You give them the message, time and weather. My dad called time and temperature all the time. See, people were calling. Somebody was in that job, like just to answer those calls come in. What are like the correct time is. Long distance calls could be expected. Yeah, I actually had a person, one of my reps that I called a couple weeks ago, left a message. I was leaving it with his assistant, and she's like, I'm giving her a number. She's like, well, what's your 800 number? I'm like, people still use 800 numbers? Like, she was out in Ohio or whatever. Like, man, you guys are trying to save a penny, I guess. But yeah, I gave her the 800 number, but it's like, I don't really get that. And like, everybody usually gives you direct numbers. Everybody just calls direct because it's so much cheaper nowadays. But back in the day, it would definitely cost you
800.
I remember back in the day, you call information, and it was like a charge. You get hit with information. It's like, why are you calling information? Like, yeah. I didn't have AC until 2006. Growing up, sweated out, and it's not like I had a broke ass parents. We spoiled now, son. Yeah, we're spoiled.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that in other parts of the country that didn't have AC. I'm just like, you look back and you're like, how could you get through it all? But people do. People do get through it, but it's just we are spoiled for sure. Back in my day, my first blog was LiveJournal. I was an early adopter. I did have a LiveJournal back in the day before, like I have a blog now on Blogger. I did have LiveJournal as well. But I remember when MySpace came out and people were excited about MySpace and the fact they could put an intro song on their MySpace page when people pulled it up. That was a big thing.
MySpace.
What's up, Aubrey? Good to see you, my friend. Jumping up during commercials to hit pause on the VCR. Yeah. Trying to get the VCR to go through in the movie, trying to get the commercial. Just like when you're listening to the radio, trying to get the DJ's voice out,
Right.
We used to listen to, growing up in New Jersey, we would get stuff out of New York. And Friday and Saturday night were big. Like anybody in hip hop knows, like Mr. Magic or DJ Red Alert or whatever. When they had the radio shows on BLS and Kiss, and they play the songs, but they always be like, "This is a Mr. Magic worldwide exclusive." And you're trying to always not catch that in your songs or DJ Red Alert. Like, no, I want people to think I put this together, So yeah.
But then it got to where they would bleed into the very first part of the song for that reason. It'd be like, couldn't get all of it just because they'd be talking right as the song was playing, just a couple seconds into it. And you're like, come on, man, just shut up. I just want the whole damn song. I don't want to hear you at the first 5 seconds.
Right. Walk 5 miles to school uphill both ways with bro up sacks from shoes and eat around snowstorm. Now, nobody actually did. That was like your grandparents trying to tell you something. Like if they want to do something. Right. Yeah, it's like, no. What's up, Paul? Cheers, homie. Good to see you.
Paul.
Paul P.A. Brew News. If you don't know Paul P.A. Brew News, check him out as well, of course. Paul's always got some good stuff going on his channel. And he's back doing the artwork and stuff, which is cool, too.
Yes.
Dude can paint his ass off.
Yes, he can. Good stuff.
Yeah. When the heat hits you, pitch a tent in the backyard, barbecue every night, and hit up the local park's pool, and use a bus without air to the pool. LOL. God, ride a bus with no air conditioning, that was never fun back in the day. We actually, when I was in high school, we actually had one of the first buses that had air conditioning on it, and the first one with a cassette player. Because we ended up having like some bus that got shipped in, and it shipped to it was our neighborhood that got to ride it. But most of the other ones were still the old school buses. So we were like, oh, we got a cassette deck in here? And the bus driver was like, yeah. So everybody make their tape, right? Everybody listen to the DJ. They bring their tapes in.
There you go.
We come to school with all the music popping and all kind of stuff. And our school kids are like, man, what y'all doing on the bus? Like, that's how we roll, son. That's how we roll.
We want to move to your neighborhood.
Yeah. Today, download 200 megabit file on a phone in seconds. We had 1 million floppy disks, and the last one always had an error. The software error and doesn't load. 4 hours of your life wasted. Yeah, And we had the big floppy disks, right? So it wasn't like the small ones that came out later. We had the big ones because you could basically throw it and become a Chinese star if it hit somebody. So
Yes.
oh man, yeah. Those were the days. Remember how heartbreaking it was when you saw the VHS case, but there was no runnable. That's what we were talking about earlier in Blockbuster. You thought you got one there, and it was not behind it, or it was just like, oh, I was supposed to get that movie. And you had to wait to see the person dropped it off.
Yes.
Yeah. Because they would tell you, like, oh, this person's supposed to have it back by this time. And you're like, oh, okay, I got time to wait then.
You're right. Got one to win.
And then as they didn't show up, you were pissed. Like, I hope you find them for not being here on time.
Yeah. Charge them double.
Yeah. Oh, man, for James. So happy to share the good old days with you. Yo, definitely Big Daddy. So, we had so much fun back in the day. It's, I guess each generation gets tied to whatever it is, but I don't know. I feel like we had so much fun growing up in our time. I feel like the 80s and 90s were just, maybe because it was coming to age, I don't know, but it seemed like we had so much other stuff to do, like that we saw the beginning of video games to where they're at now. We saw a lot of stuff with music from where it was until now. We saw a lot of stuff with TVs, entertainment. We kind of went through it all, so it was kind of like a fun time to actually grow.
I feel like it was like the bridge. We were like the bridge because when we were kids, our parents were like still sort of had some of the 8 tracks and record players and stuff, and then the old TVs, we only had 4 or 5 channels to choose from, and you were the antenna or whatever, the remote, whatever, before you even had remote. Now, like you said, like kids' days, but we've been through it all. Like like you said, the arcades and stuff. You were with the first for consoles or whatever, so you remember the old part, but then you also know going forward, like all the new stuff too. It's just you're right. Like I don't know that there's any other generation like
that's
that.
The
really.
thing. It's like us because we're both Gen Xers, and you read a lot of articles. Gen X is actually seen as kind of that schizo generation because we get stuff from our parents, but we also get stuff from like the millennial because we've been through it all. When we were like young enough to still mess with some of the stuff the millennials like to mess with, but we were also old enough to mess with some of the stuff our parents used to like to mess with. So we get the best of both sides and stuff, which makes sense why it's kind of more like it's always like the boomers versus the millennial and stuff. But Gen X is kind of like always just chilling. It's kind of like, we're sitting there like whatchamacallit in Breakfast Club when they're running back and forth in the school, and she's just like watching them run. Like we just watch Gen X and baby boomers. Millennials and baby boomers go after each other. We're like chill. We're just chill. We're good to go. We've been through it all.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
Napster, baby. I remember skipping school to download T-Block remixes, right? Napster was a whole crazy thing when it happened. And then we went through after Napster, we went through the BitTorrents, right? Because we went through the whole BitTorrent phase. Like millennials never had to go through the BitTorrent phase. The boomers never did, but that was something we did in our generation, downloading like the movies. Right. I've got racks of DVDs of movies that I haven't even watched, but the BitTorrent set up a whole collection. Remember taking a pen and winding the music cassette when it got caught and jacked up, and you had to taking that or pen or a pencil and having to rewind it, and it was like a delicate operation for a lot of times. You were like just being really, really careful with it,
Yes,
you would hate when you find out what a wrinkle was at the one part of the song you really liked. You're like, son of a bitch! Like, damn it! Of all the spots, why's it gotta be right there? Cheers, JT. Seeing was on LJ. It was still there, but I went friends only very early on in a space at Russia, not Seattle. Oh, on Live Journal. The family had a summer home too. Had a choice: summer home or AC, and summer home won. Yeah, I do like having a nice AC, but some people they grow up without AC, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's rough at some point. It depends where you're at, kind of, too. So if you have no AC and you're like on the coast or something like that, you get that nice breeze off the ocean, you're probably better off. But if you're like somewhere like in deep South Mississippi or Alabama, you want that AC. Like,
oh, yeah. Shit, even in Ohio Valley, you want the damn AC.
Yeah. when they got a suit called the seersucker to deal with the heat, you know it's a hot place. Like there's just the special suit design just to deal with heat down there, you know. but it was fun. It's fun growing up and seeing different things and some of the stuff that we, like I said, we went through. It's funny now looking back on some of the stuff too, because you can definitely tell that back in the 80s, a lot of television we grew up on definitely had a little bit, I'm going to say, drug infusion into it. Like some of the shows when you look back on now, like just the whole idea, like, you know, like how did nobody know like the Scooby-Doo crew were getting high driving around and Shaggy
right.
The munchies,
Yes,
right?
Shaggy
you know?
was, yes.
Every time they open a door, you see a puff of smoke, and it's like, what are they doing in there? Like, you know, like or Underdog, who was like needed his little hit before he could actually get his strength. I mean, it was just there's funny things when you look back over the course of time, and you're like, somebody had to. You try to go back and watch Speed Racer now. I don't know if you watched Speed Racer when you were a kid. Try to watch that try to watch that cartoon as an adult. You're like, what the hell was I watching? Like somebody had to be on acid putting this show together.
Right.
Yeah.
I wasn't like I did watch it some, but I wasn't like a huge like just watch it all the time kind of kid then. But
you go back and you watch it now, you're like some of these cut scenes and stuff they have. You're like, dude, somebody was definitely getting high putting this show together.
Yeah,
somebody was definitely doing something. Go back and watch Thundercats and the different characters and stuff. Thundercats was my jam back in the day, though. I loved.
Oh yeah,
watching that.
Thundercats.
Yeah, Paul says Speed Racer was a trip, and Johnny Quest. Johnny Quest is another one. Yeah. But Speed Racer definitely Underdog. Polly was also another one. Like somebody was definitely working on drugs for that show. Oh yeah,
we gotta come up with an episode. 10 minutes, sure, no problem. Just kick it out, whatever.
Oh man, yeah, it was a fun time, and
that's funny.
I just feel like we saw so many different things. But I mean, the kids of today that are growing up, they're going through the stuff they're seeing there too, and 20, 30 years down the line, they'll have some stuff like, it'll be amazing, I'm sure as well. I mean, hell, these kids growing up now, they're seeing people doing these rich space travels. So they're like, their whole thing is being affected along those lines. Like, oh, I can be rich and fly up in space for 5 minutes. Let's see. Been years since I've seen Speed Racer. Yeah, you go back and watch Speed Racer now, as an adult, and it's just like, tell me you don't think somebody was high when they made that show. Somebody's doing some serious drugs in there.
I feel like you should watch out with a black light and strobe lights or something.
It's like trying to watch The Wall. Like we had The Wall growing up as one of those kind of movies. You try to watch The Wall in a proper set of mind, no drugs, no alcohol, like that and everything. You're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, what is this? What are they doing?
But you go ahead and add one of those other things to it. You're like, oh, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool.
It all makes sense.
Yeah, it all makes sense now. Because I remember watching it before and the state of mind I was in with the whole flower scene, with the whole flowers, like kind of goes through the animation, all kind of stuff. And it was like, that's pretty cool. Watching it when you're just like watching it straight and sober, you're like, what the hell am I looking at here? So it makes a difference. It makes a difference. He-Man was an acid trip for sure. Yeah.
I used to love watching He-Man.
Here's a quorum. So we used to grow up watching Super Friends, right? You watched Super Friends back in the day.
Super Friends,
The Hall of Justice. Every time they went on a trip, it would be like Batman and Robin would jump in their car to ride. Superman would ride with Wonder Woman in a jet. Why the fuck are you riding with Wonder Woman? You can fly. You can fly. Like, you're taking up a space.
Where y'all going? Where are you going?
Give it to Aquaman. What's going on behind those clouds up there that you got to ride with Wonder Woman all the time, right? In the visible jet.
Right. Nobody can see us. It doesn't matter.
Aquaman's like, I guess I'll get a dolphin and go piggyback, I guess. I don't know. Like, if you're going to fly, I mean, you can fly. I don't know why you want to ride with her, but okay, yeah.
Or whatever. Go ahead.
Superman, that selfish bastard.
Don't share with nobody.
You're hot too, yeah. I was like, thinking about it later, like, why is he always going with Wonder Woman? Yeah. Puff the Magic Dragon, HR Puff stuff were all about. We know what that was all about, too, yeah. And but it had a nice little jingle, Puff the Magic Dragon. Captain Kangaroo and his Captain Kangaroo, watching him grow up was great as a kid, but later on you start thinking back, like, dude, like that haircut, that look, that yeah, he may have been having a little stuff, having some fun with some pharmaceuticals as well. Was it Mr. Green Jeans or whatever, and all these different characters on there? Yeah. But I watched Captain Kangaroo, I watched Mr. Rogers, Neverland or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we used to have a show called Electric Company. Used to watch that as well.
Yes, Electric Company. Yes, I remember that too.
I used to love with Spider-Man. They go to the Spider-Man segment. Yeah. And Sesame Street as well. Like I saw a thing with Sesame Street. Here's another one. Sesame Street just came out. They're going to have their first homeless person or homeless character on Sesame Street. I'm like, what the fuck was Oscar the Grouch? I'm pretty sure he was homeless, living
in a trash can. Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's homeless. Are you trying to say his trash can was his home? Because I don't think he went to live there. I think he was stuck there. So it's like, yeah. So,
true.
And they had to question the whole Bert and Ernie setup. Like, what's going on here, fellas? What's going on?
Right. That was kind of before the time there, though. That was like.
Yeah.
Now they're cool, and I was like, okay, all right.
Like, hey, Grover, we're going to Bert and Ernie's. You want to come over? No.
Nope.
Big Bird hallucinating. Only he can see Snuffleupagus. Really? He's hallucinating out here? Come on. Oh man, yeah. Good old Sesame Street. The good old Counts. Ha ha ha. Going to movie theater just for the AC. I remember days like that too. If the AC went out like that, go to the theater, go to the mall. We would go to the mall back in the day. Had the air conditioning, go to the arcade or something.
Just go hang out.
Netflix got He-Man. Yeah, I think Kevin Smith just did a He-Man remake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I gotta check that out. See, because He-Man was getting to sleep in his bathroom. Oh, Paul. Snagglepuss stage left. I used to like the Snagglepuss, though, yeah. And Thundercats, yeah. Thundercats as well. Yeah, Thundercats was my jam, like I said, back in the day.
Thundercats, oh.
They were working on a movie for that, too, so. How close did you create the Cabbage Patch doll looks like? and people bought them like crazy.
Yes.
Remember when they had the Cabbage Patch run? I think that was in the 80s, and people would get into fights at like the Kmart over the Cabbage Patch dolls. Like,
I remember used to getting the Cabbage Patch Kids cards, like the trading cards, and they were always like had crazy names and stuff on them, and the pictures were always like, ended kind of.
Yeah, people were like, they'd come to blows over those Cabbage Patch type things. I mean,
oh, yes.
Yeah. Zoom. I do remember Zoom as well. I remember that show, too, as a kid growing up. That was another one that was a fun one to watch. And then we used to have this one cartoon back in the day. I don't know if they had it everywhere, but it was called Marine Boy. Kind of like a Speed Racer, but he was like an underwater kid, and he would chew gum for oxygen or whatever, but he would like throw a boomerang and stuff. But that might have been more of a Northeastern type one. But I think somebody was probably on drugs that did that show too. Eat the Cat, outstanding, yeah. Well, let's try. Okay, if we go through cartoon characters, you got Pepe Le Pew, who basically was a serial rapist at this point, right?
Right.
Yeah. The whole Speedy Gonzalez, like they were doing the whole Mexican type thing there, with his buddy that didn't want to do anything, kind of having him as like the lazy type stuff. You had the things now with the Tom and Jerry where they got the racist overtones. It's just like all these stuff that we watched back then. It was like you pick up later on, you're like, what the hell was going on? Now, some of it I think is a little bit more of a reach, but some of the other things are like, that's kind of interesting. So yeah. I mean, the whole Pepe Le Pew thing, it was just like, He was not taking no for an answer. He was not. I mean, I'm not going to say
that cat wouldn't give up for nothing.
I'm not saying he's as bad as R. Kelly or anything like that, but I'm just saying he wasn't taking no. And Bugs Bunny was like the first cross dresser. You know, he would dress up as a chick to get out of trouble. So, you know, all kinds of stuff that you saw back in the day.
Yeah.
Bozo the Clown was his father. I remember Bozo the Clown. I remember Howdy Doody, which I used to watch Howdy Doody reruns as a kid because I think it came out like somewhere in the 60s or whatever, but like in the 70s it was colorized and all that kind of stuff. But cool on TV, but I can see if that was a doll in somebody's closet where it would kind of freak them out like a Chucky type thing. It was kind of a freaky looking doll sometimes.
Right,
so,
yeah.
Is how
I used to watch Bozo as a kid.
Yeah. Bob Ross episodes in his coat now. Bob Ross is probably the coolest painter I think I've ever seen. It was just like, oh, we don't make mistakes. Like he was just always so relaxed and chill.
There ain't
like,
no mistakes, just happy accidents.
Yeah, you would want to hang out with that guy. Like, yeah, he's chill. He's chill. Like me and him can listen to a couple of Grateful Dead songs and we're good to go. You know, so yeah.
Best friends for life.
He was the best. He said, yeah. Oh, we don't play that. Yeah. How do we get into all the clowns, Paul? Like you're going through all the clowns. Pee-wee's Playhouse based on the medicine cabinet raid. Yeah. Pee-wee's Playhouse. Yeah, I remember that too. They used to fight over Tickle Me Elmo. Yeah, Teletubbies. Yeah, both of those, they had fights. I remember Tickle Me Elmo came out. That people were going crazy on that too. Pound Puppies and Gummy Bears. Yeah. People will probably get into crazy stuff this year because they're talking about a shortage on toys. It'll be interesting to see, but people may start getting in fights over stuff this year. Trash.
I'd bet they will.
Yeah, because they were talking about stuff being in short demand, possibly. Anyone still have their Beanie Babies? I never had the Beanie Babies, so I can't say I do, but I do have some Hot Wheels cars here.
Oh, I've got Hot Wheels too downstairs in the basement. I think she might have some Beanie Babies tucked away, maybe. She might have got rid of them.
Are they still worth something right now? They used to be worth some good dollars back in the day.
Some of them, I think, are still. I'm not 100% sure.
Speaking of Hot Wheels, I actually got the new Hot Wheels game for the PlayStation 5 to check out because I didn't have a racing game, and I'm like, what better racing games than Hot Wheels from all the memories from back in the day? And it's all the different track setups you would actually do. So instead of having like a NASCAR type thing, I said I went with the Hot Wheels, and there's all these different Hot Wheels cars. So I'll be sharing that on the gaming channel.
Was that a free one, or did you buy that one?
No, I bought that one. Yeah, when I got the PS5, I had like a certificate to also buy some games. I said, you know what, that'd be kind of fun just for the nostalgia of it. Garbage Pail Kids, yeah. Remember?
There you go. Those are the cards. Yeah, Garbage Pail Kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. The Rocky and Bullwinkle suite. We used to watch that in the early morning after tripping all night. Yeah, Rocky and Bullwinkle as well. Definitely solid too. Hong Kong Phooey was classic. And that was Scatman Carruthers that did the voice of Hong Kong as well. Which every time I still watch The Shining, I still get thrown back when I see him get the axe. It's like I get so pulled into the movie, and it's like, don't go around that corner. Jack Nicholson comes around with that axe, and it's like, son of a bitch. Like,
damn it, I told you.
Every time I know it's coming, I'm still right there. Let's see. I see Pee Wee live in '83 on the SS President in New Orleans. Well, better to see him live there than in a movie theater.
Yes. Why is your hand moving so much?
Yeah.
Want some popcorn? No, I pass.
I got my own butter. Yeah. Pee Wee going wee. Also, wacky packages cards. Yeah. You know the funny thing about Pee Wee? It's kind of like you watch him all those years kind of doing that character and stuff, and you forget, like, that's not actually him. He's just acting that way. And then I saw him be himself, like in the movie Blow with Johnny Depp. And it was like a total, like he did a great job acting. It was like a total just 180, like, wow, he's got some really good talent here. So, yeah. Johnny Lightning 500 slot race set. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, Hot Wheels was a popular thing around most of the kids. Some kids not as popular because when they got in trouble, sometimes their parents may not have a belt. They might have a Hot Wheels track. You would never want a Hot Wheels track on your backside. That's all I'm saying. That's got some crazy flexibility. The audience saw Cross-legged on the floor. He was hilarious. Oh, when you saw Pee-wee? Yeah, I bet he would be funny, though. Dudley Do-Right and Snidely Whiplash. I do remember Dudley. Dudley Do-Right. That was with the dog and the one guy, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now he's
Caveman.
he's going to Captain Caveman. I remember Captain Caveman was on the Flintstones.
Caveman.
It's like they had episodes where he was on the Flintstones and stuff, which was interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, was that where was he on there first and then jumped into his own?
I think he was. Well, he had his own, but he would there was a cameo or something where he ended up going on the Flintstones at some point.
Okay.
Which funny fact about the Flintstones? Like we grew up with the Flintstones being a cartoon, like after school, whatever like that. When it initially came out, it was actually a prime time show. It was basically a cartoon.
Right.
It was a cartoon of the honeymooners.
Yes.
Yeah. And when Bugs Bunny first came out, it wasn't as just a cartoon separate. It was actually in the movies. They didn't have trailers at the time, so they played the Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and all the cartoons in between the movies. So those basically replaced trailers back then. Yeah, I remember Birdman doing the interviews and everything. Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse. Yeah. What was the one mouse? It was Mighty Mouse. From
Mighty Mouse, yes. Yeah.
Harvey Birdman, attorney at law, right? Oh. And Living Color. Well, now you're away from the cartoons. Now you're into Living Color with the show. So yeah. And Living Color is definitely a classic. That was some funny humor back then in the 90s as well.
That was a good one.
Just think that Jim Carrey started on there with Damon Wayans and all the Wayans brothers and Tommy Davidson and Alan Greer. Yeah.
Alan Greer, yeah.
Space Ghost, Josie and the Pussycats. Yeah, I remember those as well. Jetsons and I remember Jabberjaw from back in the day, which was the shark. I remember them having a show with him when that was pretty funny. He was almost like a Rodney Dangerfield of shark type thing. Space Ghost. Galaxy Trio. I remember Galaxy Trio. Now, G.I. Joe, I remember from after.
I was just going to say G.I. Joe. I used to love G.I. Joe when I was growing up.
Yeah. I think I used to root for some of the bad guys than the good guys. Transformers were big growing up at school.
Transformers, that was a good one too.
Yeah. Scream was always screwing up something. It's like Megatron, you need to get rid of Scream. He's terrible. Remember the Shmoo? I don't remember the Shmoo. You remember the Shmoo?
I do not. Shmoo.
I remember Ultraman.
Shamu.
I used to watch
the whale.
Yeah, the whale Shmoo. Yeah. I used to watch Ultraman was what I used to watch back in the day as well.
Ultraman.
G-Force. Yeah.
Ultraman. That was like
regional thing. It might be. You said what about Ultraman?
Well, now, like back in the Godzilla days too.
Yeah, I mean, Ultraman was probably
like an Ultraman and Godzilla.
70s. He didn't fight Godzilla though, but it was a Japanese show.
Mix.
Yeah,
right.
And there was another one called Space Giants. There was Johnny Sacco, which I loved. Johnny Sacco was like as a kid growing up, where you were talking to his watch and to a giant robot, and the robot would do stuff. Johnny Sacco was the shit back in the day. It's like, man,
that was like Inspector Gadget before Inspector Gadget.
It's like if I had a giant robot, you know what I could do? Flintstones and the Jetsons during the lunch break and Chef Boyardee. Does Chef Boyardee have a show? I thought it was just the food. Shmoo. No idea what the Shmoo was on. I hope someone else remembered it. I have no idea what it was on. Let's see.
Shmoo. Why are you looking at it up? I'll be right back.
Shmoo was a fictional cartoon creator. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go back here. Fictional cartoon creature created by Al Cap. First appeared in the comic Little Abner on August 13, 1948. Well, that's definitely before my time, Little Abner. But I do remember the comic strip of Little Abner. And I think this is the Shmoo you're talking about, Mal. This character right here, Shmoo, I think that's who you're talking about. I don't remember watching Shmoo, but it does look familiar. But that's the thing. That's what came up for Shmoo when I actually looked on there. Fingers breaking. All the typing. Oh.
Did you figure it out?
Yeah, it was a character. I just shared it on here. It was a character from Little Abner back in the day. Oh, Mal said that was him. So okay, so yeah, I remember the kind of the face of it, but I don't remember seeing anything with him in it. Maybe he was in the comic strips or something. Jabberjaw. Yeah, Jabberjaw back in the day. All right, homie. I'll catch up with you. Got to eat during lunch. Wait a minute. Are you saying you got to? It's not lunchtime for you. It's night. What the hell, Gilbert?
I think he was talking about. Used to watch some of those shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dodgers are up 1-0. Are they playing the Cubbies, James? Because James is in Chicago, so I got a friend. She's rooting for the Dodgers. She's out in LA. Yeah.
No, Cubs didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, if I could tell anything to a younger person, I would say enjoy your youth because it is fun. Have fun with it. Don't try to grow up too fast. Of course, people try to tell us that too. We weren't really listening as much as we probably should have.
You're right. I was gonna say we've told our daughter that a bazillion times. She's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm like, yeah, our parents just tell us the same thing, and we said the same thing. Now it's like, God, I wish it was that back then. Back that age again.
Yeah. Oh, Dodgers versus Giants, Game 5. Okay.
Giant, yeah.
Oh, got a winner, you're out. I remember that. It looks like a weird French cartoon. So Gilbert remembers Shmoo. Top Cat. Oh, Felix the Cat. Yeah, I remember Felix the Cat. I think I remember Cat in the Hat, too. I used to watch the Cat in the Hat stuff when I was a kid as well. Winner meets the Braves. And, Braves are done already. Okay.
Yeah.
Dodgers got a pretty nice team now. With the Dodgers, I will say, I don't watch baseball as much, but I was happy to see them win it. Was it last year they won a title? Or the year before?
Let's see. Who the hell did win last year?
I don't think they had it
2 years
last
ago
year.
was Astro.
Maybe it was because last year was probably screwed up with 2020 and everything. But I was happy to see Magic get in there as well as get a title. He's put stuff into the Dodgers organization. Business-wise, Magic is one of the smartest business athletes I think that I've seen out there. I mean, he has so many different things that he's involved in that have been successful. He was always one of my favorite basketball players anyway. So Smurfs and Snorks. I don't know the Snorks, but I know Smurfs. I used to watch the Smurfs.
Oh, yeah, the Dodgers did win last year.
Okay. Yeah, Dodgers won last year. Okay.
So the Astros must have been the year before that then.
I remember the Smurfs and their long battles against Gargamel. So
yes.
But yeah.
He was kind of a buffoon bad guy.
Yeah, he was. Another thing too, watching the Super Friends, they'd have the Wonder Twins on there. And it's like the one guy would always turn into some version of water every time. Oh, bucket of water or ice. Like, you got something with water where you're always like a water type thing? Like, what's going on here? It's like she'd be like, I'm a hawk or I'm a bear or I'm this. And he's like, oh, bucket of water and he can drop me off on the people. Like, really? That's your imagination as far as you can go? Like, Why not be like a saber-tooth tiger or something? What's up, CB? Cheers. Cheers on Todd. Friend's house
CB.
burning. New 12 square foot on the mountaintop, about half a mile. The house going to burn. Oh my God, it's on fire right now. Oh, that is so sad to hear. He's hurting. Oh wow. I wonder if something caught fire from something. I mean, that sucks. 12,000 square foot.
Jeez. Yes. That's huge.
Hopefully, it's not something like a forest fire or something taking place. I mean, all these different CB's actually out of West Virginia, but all these different forests that we see always on fire. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
That'd have to be the worst. Like, I know it's like there's material things, but just think of like pictures and shit that you might have from years and years, 20, 30, 40 years ago that you'd lose.
It's the
Could
things,
lose in something like that.
It's the things. It's the things that can't be replaced. It's
right.
It's funny. It's one of my other channels is the reaction channel that I do, and this week I actually did the video from Low Key about what happened over there in Grenfell, which was a condominium that had caught fire. Almost as I can't say almost. It's a sad situation like we saw here in Surfside, Florida, where the condo collapsed. That happened a few months back. Well, over here in the UK, there was like a fire that took place, and the people weren't, but the company had warnings out there from people that were like doing inspections. They never do anything. But anyway, middle of the night, this condo caught fire, and like 70 plus people died in this fire that took place. And so Low Key, who's a rapper in the UK, did a song about the whole thing. And you listen to the stuff that he's doing in the song, and all you have is like a lump in your throat from everything that took place here. And you just think about what all these people had lost and stuff that, you don't expect to lose. You go to bed at night, you're thinking you're okay or whatever. And all of a sudden you wake up in this fire, or you trying to escape, but you can't go back and get all the mementos and all these different things that are taking place and all the chemicals in the air. It's just like, that's just tough. It's like one of the worst things you could go through.
Yeah, it'd be heartbreaking for sure.
Oh, yeah. This is the next Giants batter ties the game with a homer. Well, if they can get a homer. Well, it's like 1-0, though. So that would tie it. But I haven't watched much of the baseball. I mean, I was kind of watching some of it because the Reds were kind of looking like they might try to do something this year. And then, like every Cincinnati pro team, the wheels came off. So,
not only that, but the
St. Louis got hot.
Cardinals
won
18 games in a row or whatever it was, like pretty much put them out of it instantly.
Yeah. So then it was like, but it's like funny being in the Cincinnati area. You expect the teams to fall apart at some point, something to happen,
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, people were kind of high on the Bengals right now. Which the Bengals, I haven't watched any of the games, but from what I've seen on some of the news stuff, then you got a team that might be decent this year. I know they just lost to the Packers, but that was kind of a weird type thing with the bad kicking that took place. I know Gilbert's here. Their kicker, our kicker, both kickers were kind of
it's missing. Like 5 field goals.
Yeah. Which Mason Crosby never really misses anything from what I remember watching him, but it's just like it happens. But who knows? Maybe the Bengals will be a contender. I feel like every team now here is a pro. Like before FC Cincinnati got taken to the major level, they were great. And then they got a major level deal here, and it's like not even terrible. They fired like 2 coaches. Like it's like every time Cincinnati goes pro, it's terrible. It's like the best team they got is like the Cyclones, which is the IHL. Don't take them to the NHL because then they'll suck. But in the IHL, they won some championships. Yeah. Yeah. CV said, only problem here if it starts, it's gone. Country houses, surgeon at CMAC is insured. Got most of the good things out. Well, that's good then. He was able to salvage some stuff there. FACP says, he said, we're going through a lot in Louisiana right now from the hurricane, but the death rate wasn't like what you were talking about. Yeah, but Yeah, Louisiana, you guys have been hit with some stuff down there from the hurricane. A couple of the hurricanes kind of came through, and it's like, man, there's always like stuff happening, I guess. I mean, you can't beat nature. Nature's going to be what nature's going to be. So,
Right.
Mother Nature like found me time undefeated, but you try to prevent stuff if you can from happening. And Louisiana, part of it is just them putting in the right things to make the right protections. And I know down in the New Orleans area, like the Army Corps of Engineers, I said they needed stuff down there for years. And that's why when Katrina hit, it was so bad because they were being warned about, them not being in a good area if something were to happen. So, but it's good that you're doing well down there. And, this last one that came through, hopefully people take notice. I mean, I don't think it's going to get as much better. I know CB is really big about sharing stuff happening on Facebook around the world. And you see all these different things that are popping up. And it's like kind of a sign, like we need to do some better stuff with the climate, in my opinion.
Right.
The Bengals have fans installed in the stadium. Bengal equals LSU's best quarterback and wide receiver of all time. Yeah, I mean, people were kind of questioning Chase because he was having, I guess, a tough preseason, but I guess he's taking off here now and doing well. That people are on board with him.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's put all those bad juju to bed for sure.
Who was the big one before Burrow came out? Was it Russell? Might have been the biggest quarterback they had come out before Joe Burrow. Because didn't Russell go to LSU, Jamarcus? But he didn't do anything in the NFL, really.
No.
Yeah. Mm-mm. And I'm trying to think if any wide receiver really set up, but I don't remember any wide receiver coming out. No, he went to Oakland or whatever. But no, I just remember him being. I just remember him being an LSU quarterback.
Oh yeah.
But I think LSU always
had. What was the Falk running back?
Oh, and
not Marshall Falk.
You talking about Edwards Hare that went to LSU, or are you thinking about somebody else?
Oh, was he LSU also?
Yeah, he was LSU too.
No, but it wasn't Marshall Falk, but they had a Falk also that came out there after him.
Well, Falk went to San Diego State. Kevin Falk.
Well, no,
you're thinking of Kevin.
Falk did, but
you're thinking of Kevin Falk.
That came out of LSU, I thought.
Yeah, you're thinking of Kevin Falk. You went to the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Falk.
I remember in college he was awesome.
Yeah, he was like a versatile player for the Patriots for a number of years because I think he's got like a couple Super Bowl rings up there. But when I think of LSU, I also think of like the Honey Badger. I just think of Tyler Matthew being there, like the beast of a player he was there at safety. Yeah, no doubt about that. Jamarcus was definitely a big flop in the NFL. He definitely did not make the transition well at all.
No.
Bengals have improved, but I don't think they have a lot of depth. Yeah, I mean, they're talking about them possibly being a playoff team this year. So who are they? I don't know who they are, but that's what they are saying.
They always have a big say in their
Mason. Yeah, Mason. I remember I used to have Mason back in the days as a fantasy kicker. He was always solid. So it was just an off day for him. My brother BFF went to LSU. Jamarcus was a number one overall pick. Yeah, he didn't do well when he came over to the NFL, and but you know what happens. That's what I say. You never know. Yeah, and the FACP said also Kevin Falk too. So yeah, I remember Kevin Falk because I had him on a fantasy years ago as well, up there in New England. So he fit well into Belichick's offense because they would get him out in the flats and throwing passes and all that kind of stuff. Like a little dink and dunk that Belichick does. But I do like Ed Ogeron. I will say that. I don't know. Maybe he's just. I feel like he's a football coach. I just feel like I like watching him speak and all that kind of stuff. Get that heavy bass in his voice and that Cajun accent kicks in. I feel like that's the guy you would run through a wall for. Like he's got that nice feel of being a ball coach. Yeah. Yeah, studied LSU and NFL. His daughter passed away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear this. I didn't hear about his daughter passing away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Go Tigers. Yeah. Chu says it could be worse. You could be a Lions fan. That would be worse. The Lions, I feel bad for the Lions in that this year, from what I've seen, 2 losses were bad calls that ended games that cost them the game. Like literally, they should have 2 more wins. I think they haven't won yet, but I think they should have 2 wins on their record. Right, the last game where Tucker or whatever hits the 66-yarder to set the record, like that play shouldn't have happened because of the play before. It should have been a penalty flag thrown that wasn't. And then I guess it was like the week before something else happened that shouldn't have happened, and they got screwed on that too. So it's rough being a Detroit fan. I mean,
I feel like that's their story every year. Like they're always right there, but lose on something stupid.
Yeah. And Matt Stafford's like on the Rams now. Like I told you, it wasn't me. Like he's winning with the Rams.
Yeah, right. He's my fantasy quarterback. I waited till late. I was like, he's going to be really good for them.
Well, they had the Ring of Honor a couple weeks ago, I think, and Calvin Johnson got inducted. But they also had one of the owners, I guess, from the Ford family, and the crowd booed him when they came out to get inducted. I'm like, that's bad, but it's kind of like expected because I mean they've had some the fans weren't happy over Calvin Johnson leaving. They weren't happy over Barry Sanders retiring, which may have came down to some of the contract type stuff that was taking place. So I got most of my NFL highlights from a YouTuber called Urinate a Tree. Check him out. Just stand downwind from him. Oh, no, upwind from him if you see urinating tree. Mason beat the Cowboys on the playoffs, and the worst looking kick ever is still split the rights. Yeah. No, Mason was definitely solid most of the time. You're going to have an off day once in a while, right? So he was just due. Phil Brenner just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he's had 2 losses that should be wins for him. So, but he knows the pain of being a Detroit fan. I mean, he knows what comes with the territory. It's like me as a Mountaineer, a West Virginia fan. I know it's going to be painful. I mean, people are like, "Oh, they got this game in the bag," and it's like, "Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it." It's like, not until that whistle blows. I don't care if it's football or basketball. Don't talk to me right now. I don't want to hear anything about it because the drinks will be on.
It's been my story as being a Hoosier fan for years and years and years.
It's like you go to the bathroom, you're up 21, you come back, you're down 7. What the hell just happened?
Yeah, what the fuck happened? It was only gone 5 minutes. What in the world?
Although I will say we have one of our commits. I put a thing on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it or not, but he was on the high school ESPN game earlier this year. He's one of our quarterbacks coming in. They played the number 7 team in the nation. They were down like 17 points or something, or 20 points, something with like a minute and a half left. He brought them back and won the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's like a West Virginia commit. So the future looks nice having him come in. So, yeah. Big Texas Packers, like he's in Chicago. So I guess maybe a little bit to the Bears side of things. Unfortunately, Edo will not have a dominant season. On a booster, also confirmed that one said lost their first game. Yeah, but I mean, that's the pressure of coaching in the SEC, I guess. I think you're gonna have an off season. You're not always gonna be in there running for stuff, but I just feel like he's a good coach for them down there.
Yeah, some schools it's not okay. It's never a down season.
Yeah, it's a fickle. It's the difference. I mean, like Nick Saban, they had their loss that just took place to like A&M, and they're like, what the hell? Like, he's not gonna be. But if he lost to A&M and he lost to Auburn, and he lost to Arkansas in one season, I don't think they would call for his head, but there'd be like a lot of questions asked. But
right,
it all depends on where you're at.
You get warm quick.
Yeah. Fans can turn quickly, but then again, they're fans for a reason. They're not a lot of fans that do these kind of things are people that couldn't play the sport, which is the funny thing. Lions don't lose almost as well as those Bears. Bears just love being 500. Well, Andy Dalton's not their quarterback now, so they might have a chance, right? Then they give the job to the Ohio State quarterback that came in.
Oh, yeah. Fields.
Fields. So
Justin Fields.
yeah, you're not going to win much with Dalton, probably. Although Dalton's a nice guy. He's a great character here in Cincinnati. We had him, but
Red Rider.
he's not going to get you over the hump. That's for sure. Yeah.
No. It gets you just close enough to lose and be pissed.
Just enough to get you pissed off.
Yeah, that's right.
Just when you think you got a shot, nope, you don't. Oh, what's
It's
that?
kind of like that with Dusty Baker when he was manager of the Reds. Like, yeah, get you the playoffs, but then he sucks. Let him go. Then he ain't been to playoffs hardly since.
That's the thing that
It's
people
like,
didn't
okay,
get, right?
bring Dusty back. He wasn't so
They-
bad after all.
They got rid of Dustin, they got rid of Marvin, and it's just like, oh, is it? Well, you know what? Marvin had the longest run here to get you guys in the playoffs for all that time, and then y'all got rid of him. Then y'all not sniffing the playoffs. Dusty, the same thing. So he
Right.
gets you there.
Exactly.
The players have to do the rest, but he gets you there.
Right. Good Marvin Lewis lost like 10 straight chatter in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Didn't he lose like 10 straight playoff games or
Yeah, he
something?
never won a playoff game, but he got him to the playoffs. But yeah.
You're right. Yeah, he got him there. He just couldn't win one.
All right, Mallory, it was great having you on as well. Great to have chatted with you and Chew in the background. Have a good night, my friend. And y'all check her out over there as well on her channel. I won't be too long behind you, actually, here. Bears went
Yeah.
win with Brady. Ooh, you think Brady couldn't save the Bears?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's saving the He saved the Buccaneers.
It's a bold statement.
Not for Chicago, but for 20 years. I got to say, I love to hate the Bears. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Let's hope that Joey B brings the Bengals a championship. That would be nice. And I will say the one cool thing about Joe is he's from Ohio. He's not far from Cincinnati, where he's from. So that would be kind of cool. He has the homecoming type feel. And the guy's a class act from what I've seen on a lot of stuff. So he could be the one to help them get over that hump. I think the Bengals, had it not been for that injury that year with Carson Palmer when he took that knee shot, they had a shot that year.
Yeah.
And he was never the same after that. So I'm hoping Joey took his shot with that knee as well, but hopefully doesn't go that type of route. But so far he seems to be performing well. And he had the same 9 as Palmer had. I'm like, don't get that number, son. Don't get that number. That number's got the X on it.
Jinx, cursed.
Yeah. And Jason have a good one as well too, Mallory. But yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here too. We're like 11:22 here. Get off, get some rest so we can get into the work week tomorrow. But anything else you want to add on here tonight?
No. Appreciate everybody chiming in. Good times, good talks tonight for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And
Always
thanks
appreciate it.
thanks to Big Daddy for sending the beers that we talked about earlier.
Yes.
Really enjoyed the Fat Bear and, of course, the Pseudo Saison. Both were excellent. And if you guys get a chance, check those out as well, especially in Chicago. I mean, if I was in Chicago and I had Hot Butcher there, I'd probably do just like direct payroll deduction. Just send $20 to this brewery on my check every week.
Right.
I'm going right there after work or whatever, right? So some good stuff for sure.
Right over there.
Yeah. Yeah, if he stays healthy, he's got the talent. He could definitely be a multiple champion. Later as well, my friend. And good night, folks, from Gilbert. But yeah, we'll catch up again here every Thursday, 8:15. We actually do this. And then I'll have some more of the beer reviews coming up over this weekend, especially the Hot Butcher beers. I want to get those all set up here as well. But thanks for everyone tuning in. Look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Y'all have a great Thursday night and a better Friday. Remember, there's always time. Get your beer on.